Welcome to episode 92 of Both Down, the #1 Blood Bowl podcast.
In the land of tornadoes.
Ugh. Okay. This is Steve, a.k.a. Kilowoggy. With me is Scott Prime.
Scott Prime in the house.
That is still here.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Luckily, all the bad weather has been tracking north of us by...
Knocking on wood.
Really fairly far away.
Knocking on wood.
Yeah. This is that...
Except for Saturday.
We released the podcast, and we had a tornado hit us 2 days later. No.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, I was in Texas. And, okay, folks, we're in Oklahoma in the United States.
More Oklahoma.
Listening worldwide. And we've had a lot of, like, almost every night there's been some type of severe weather that could make tornadoes.
Yeah. Half the state shut down on Monday.
And
it was last week.
Technically, y'all got a tornado warning on Saturday. Is that correct?
Yes.
Like, no watch, just boom.
And the difference between tornado watch and tornado warning, watch means that a tornado might occur in your area, and a tornado warning means there is a tornado in your area.
Right.
So we did get a warning saying there is a tornado, take shelter. And Michael Brownstone was over here with his buddy, and they were like, "Is that bad?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, it's bad, but we're watching the news. We see it's not coming near us, and it's a little baby tornado." Right. So
it's like a halfling tornado. If we're going to put it in Blood Bowl terms,
that's true. Yeah, luckily that one.
It's actually more like a snotling tornado.
Yeah.
You weren't really scared at all. A little bit.
Only scared in the sense that it could possibly get bigger, and then that would be an issue.
They always start like a snotling tornado.
Yeah.
I was in Texas.
But unfortunately, that one did. There was another one that hit El Reno.
That was a lot bigger.
And 2 people died, which is unfortunate.
I was in Texas with some friends. So
you had a guy weekend where you left us, so we couldn't record or anything.
I know. Well,
and
the guys I went with are probably my 2 oldest friends, and like I've known them the longest.
Probably. I would say they are. Well, you said they're probably your oldest friends. Do you have older friends?
Well, I was going to make the joke of like they're my oldest friends in age and in how long I've known them, but then I realized I know older people. So I couldn't do the double joke and sound really cool. So now you just embarrassed me on my podcast.
Our podcast.
Yeah, my podcast. Anyways, I've known Robert since became good friends in 6th grade, and then Gary about 8th grade.
Yeah.
So, yes, I've known these guys for 30 plus years.
And we've talked about them plenty because they're the ones you played Blood Bowl with.
Yeah, Robert's been on the podcast. He's been out at Oklahoma Bowl. But it's the type of friends where, like, even though you don't see each other maybe every week, you get together and just, it's that good friend humor where you, like, bag on each other and tease and you laugh and you carry on. And trust me, we are 100% different on almost every level. Especially just a lot of things. I'll just keep it at that without...
Right.
I don't want to cause conflicts. We all think differently about a variety of things. Mm-hmm. So that's fine. We get along. We have fun. We all have our roles. You know, Robert usually takes the brunt of all the force. Gary's the rich one. And then, like, I'm the loud one. So we get along fine.
that actually sums it up perfectly.
No, we had a good time. The idea was I think, truth be told, Gary wanted to get away for the weekend and without a wife within driving distance.
Yeah.
So, or any actual responsibility, because he had to finally turn off. He's pretty big up in his job, and he got a million phone calls about his job because normally his calls from his job go to his phone, filter through him.
Yeah.
And he finally had to turn off that app just so he wouldn't get inundated with calls. So I think part of it was getting out just to really totally disconnect. It's like when you hear people say, I want to go out to the cabin and disconnect. Yeah. That was what it was for Gary. So
yeah, that's the thing. You know, I don't make a ton of money, but I don't ever think about my job unless I'm at my job. And even then, it's like 50% of the time.
Right. And he has to. I mean, that's just part of his job and stuff.
And you actually basically spent the weekend at Madness Comics in Plano.
Yeah, we did. We had to in the weekend a little short on Sunday because I had to come back and work at Wizards because I couldn't find anybody to work for me. So we went to Madness Comics and we played some board games. Not as many as I'd like.
Yeah.
But Robert's not really a board gamer. I think it's safe to say. So when you're teaching non-board gamers game stuff, some things don't click as soon, because they're just not used to mechanics and stuff like that. So we played 3 games of Raiders of the North Sea, which is a great game. I know this is not Blood Bowl related, but it really is a really good game.
I'm not a huge gamer either, but I really do enjoy that one.
That game's really good, and
especially with the expansions.
Have you played it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I played with all the, was it 2 expansions or 3?
There's the one with the mead hall, which I think is really good, and it can be added almost right away because people can understand what you do with that. And then there's the one where you fight the Jarls or they join your crew, which is really not that difficult either, but I didn't want to teach another component to new people. So great game. We played a couple games of Death Path, and then we played a game of the Hellboy game.
Death Path featuring your art.
Featuring my art.
Which has come out finally.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that, you missed a copy, I think you can go to Death Path. It's either deathpath.com or deathpaththegame.com.
Just Google Death Path. You should be able to find it.
Anyways, yeah, and we're on Board Game Geek and stuff like that. So
it's
I don't know.
So cool.
Madness Comics is still like really awesome.
And we call it Madness Comics, but it's Madness Comics and Games. And
is that what the real name is?
Yeah, it's
more games.
75%. Well, yeah.
If you take a trip to Texas and you're in the Dallas area, take the time to drive over there for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. They have a lot of stuff.
We talk about how nice Wizards is, because Wizards is now 3 times the size that they used to be, and it's really nice.
Madness is still every bit of
4 or 5.
At least 3 times, if not 4 or 5.
Yeah, because they took over an old grocery store.
Yeah.
And I've been going to that because my brother lives a block away.
I know.
And that store has been there since I've been going down there for like 25 years.
Yeah, we've bragged about it before on here.
And it just started out so small and so cramped. And then just to see it grow, I'm like, dang.
Yeah, we had a whole table to ourselves. We just wanted to play games just with ourselves. The Hellboy game was pretty cool. I haven't played it enough because people have been asking me. John Homer asked me.
As I say, the Hellboy game is actually...
It has Blood Bowl rules.
Created.
By Needy Cat Games, which is James Hewitt and I think his friend, partner. I don't know. There's more than one person, but...
Mainly James.
James Hewitt did the Hellboy game. And
he helped with the 2016 rules.
Right.
And created Blitz Bowl.
Correct.
And I think kept us from getting the Blitz Bowl rules as the new 2016 rules.
Thanks, James.
Yes, thank you.
For those asking about the Hellboy game, I really like it, but I haven't played it enough yet to decide if the mechanics are just pretty cool and I love the theme, or if both of them are really cool. It's a dungeon crawl game where it's a co-op. We played the same intro mission that me and Jennifer's played now. And me and Jennifer struggled fighting the frog monsters and the big confrontation with the big bad guy, but we've won every time.
Mm-hmm.
This time with Robert and Gary, we went through the whole mission blowing away the frog monsters. We took no damage. We get to the final confrontation, rolling lights out. There's a wild dice on it that has a skull on it. So it's Blood Bowl-esque in some ways. Skull's bad because it takes your highest hit dice away. Didn't roll any skulls. For the next 6 interactions that we had with the monsters, we rolled 4 skulls.
Jeez.
We took no damage from anything until the final confrontation, and the big monster wiped us out in 4 turns. Boom, 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 boom. Done. There's nothing we could have done about it.
You were the initial team sent in for recon, and then you got your asses wiped, and they send in the real people.
Yes, I was Liz. Gary was Hellboy, and Robert was he was Lobster Johnson.
Yeah,
took no damage, got blown out. The guys were going is it really this easy? Because I don't know if this game's does it get harder, Scott? And I was like, trust me, we're rolling lights out. Law of averages say it should become more difficult. Mm-hmm. We got blown away. Never did 1 damage to the big bad guy. But anyways. Still think it's pretty fun. For those asking, I haven't played any other case files, so hopefully I can play it more. But to me, I know we're going into board gamings, but I like to talk about this stuff.
Sure.
So if you played games like Shadows of Brimstone, Descent, all these dungeon crawl games, I think it's really better if multiple people read the rules. Therefore, if you miss something small, I can say, well, let's go into this room. And you go, well, Scott, we got to do this first. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I hate being the only guy that really knows all the rules.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So, I'm going to try to get Jennifer to really read over the rules now that summer started, and so we can play it more and see if we really, really like it,
That's cool.
It does not have a experience thing like Shadows of Brimstone, where you can gain experience and level up your guy. You're really just playing like this Hellboy case files, and it has all these case files that operate the bad guys in the setup, which is pretty cool. So, anyways, it's worth a shot. I mean,
that's cool.
I got the Kickstarter version though.
Yeah.
So for the same price everybody else is playing at retail, I got a bunch of extra stuff. If it was retail, I look at the retail version now and I'm like, I don't know if I'd pay that much because I got so much free stuff and extra cases. So.
Well, that's why you go to Kickstarter.
There's my Hellboy review on a Blood Bowl podcast.
That's okay. Well, we haven't done much Blood Bowling.
We really haven't.
No. I mean, you're in the finals of our store league.
I am in the finals. The bad thing is everybody on the planet has fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Our poor store league is on its last legs.
It is. It's on life support. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, and we have to take a lot of the not credit, but blame, I guess.
Well, that's how you want to look at it.
Exactly. We have not really promoted it well or done demo days or anything, and we really just need someone else to run it, and then we can just play in it.
I think it's a little bit of Blood Bowl fatigue.
Oh, that's true.
I see that in you lately.
Oh, yeah.
Since Oklahoma Bowl, you have like very little interest in actually playing a long 3-hour game.
No, Oklahoma Bowl just wiped me out. It'll be fine. I've played some I've played some practice games with Hess. I just need to get back on the ball. And when
every game you play a lot of has those moments. I'm finding that right now in Super Show, the wrestling card game.
Yeah.
I love it. I like talking about it. I like seeing new products. But at the same time, right now, if you said, let's get together and play Super Show, I'd rather play something else.
Well, it's also the fact that did Oklahoma Bowl, doing 2 podcasts, trying to get a team ready for the World Cup, trying to get stuff taken care of on that side, and then, little things on the other sides, just like, this is all I'm doing.
No, I get it. Now, I know we're going to talk about, I think we're talking about this later, seeing the new stuff getting ready to come out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have it.
Actually has me excited, and I'll talk about more why later, because we are talking about that later, right?
Yeah, actually, we'll talk about the breakdown of the episode now. We will be discussing in the first segment the Blood Bowl Magazine 2 from the old days. Then the second segment's going to be talking about what we're taking to Three Die Brawl and the tournament after that.
So, be honest, are you looking forward to going to Three Die Brawl to play Blood Bowl or just to get away?
To get away and see the new store. But I will enjoy playing as well.
That's exactly how I feel right now. It's like, I just want to get away from all the kids and life and just enjoy it. And then, like, if we play Blood Bowl, great, so.
Yeah. But then also having Critter Cup Gamma or whatever it is, which is using the World Cup rules on Sunday.
I want to talk about that.
And then the last segment is just going to be going through a hodgepodge of stuff, news and new announcements and games and all that stuff.
Rumors,
yep, speculations, and
we know about the rumor for our podcast. We'll address that.
What?
In that segment. You haven't heard this?
What?
No, we'll keep it to ourselves then. We'll address it then.
I'm pretty sure he's just pulling your legs, people.
Why would I do that to people?
Because you think somehow they're going to tune out?
They might.
They're not going to.
Somebody was about to turn this off, and they're like, what? There's a rumor? At the very least, they're going to fast forward to that part and listen.
I guess.
And then they're going to be like, man, this guy's just like everybody else.
He
that
lied
was just
to me.
a teaser. This is just like watching Survivor, and they take a commercial break. I hate those reality shows.
Oh, because they lead into it so much?
I mean, I get what they're doing.
Yeah. Build the suspense and then go to commercial.
Build the Smith, yeah. But we'll do that when we get back. And then they come back, and then they don't do stuff.
Well, we will be back, and we will do stuff. But we do have our version of a commercial.
Yay.
Both Down is brought to you by Wizards Asylum, your premier source for comics and games in Norman, Oklahoma. Check them out online at their new home, wizardsnorman.com.
Welcome back, and this month we're going to be talking about Blood Bowl Magazine 2, or the official Blood Bowl Magazine, issue 2.
This is the one with the pretty cover from the campaign book from 2nd edition.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? See, I'm trying to think when this came out. This doesn't really have
It doesn't have a published date on it?
Not really.
So this was probably
2000.
2000-ish? That's what I was going to say. It's crazy. This is officially from GW, right?
Oh, yeah. Head Fanatic, Jervis Johnson. Production, Warwick Kinraid and Andy Hall. Cover design, Warwick Kinraid. Cover art, Fangorn. And proofreading, Darius Hinks, who missed something, but we'll get to that. Not to throw the guy under the bus, but throwing you under the bus.
Andy Hall, he's one of the guys who wrote a story in the Blood Bowl book.
That is very true.
So
he's been doing stuff for a long time and continues to do stuff.
I like these. I know we have this in the Spike magazine, but I like these old magazines because they have stuff that like they kit bashed. You know?
Oh, for the figures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that skeleton whirling that football around up there. That was some fantasy figure.
Didn't even notice.
Yeah. So in the magazine, if you open the cover, there's like a lot of the 2nd and 3rd edition stuff. There was painted miniatures and stuff where they show off like, this is what you could do.
Mm-hmm.
And they show a lot of little kit bash things. They show a head coach, a orc head coach, and a squig, and some little goblins, and even a halfling that's tied up with chains.
Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
Not players, but counters for the
captured
Chief
halfling.
Crushers.
It does say.
Captured halfling is used as a turn counter, while the devilish goblin is the score counter. The squig is the team mascot.
I could have just read that, but yeah.
Well, you could have read that.
But I didn't.
But you didn't.
So, this is the 2nd issue. Came out after the 1st, obviously. And in the 1st, they did talk about the 4th edition rules. So, basically, Jervis is talking about the blowback that they got from that. A lot of changes and...
Too much, I guess.
Yeah. Some people... there were gaffes that they made and things that people didn't like. I guess the main thing was the implementation of appearance fees. And appearance fees were when you got to 51 star player points, you had to pay a certain fee to that player, or otherwise they wouldn't take the pitch.
Because at that point, they were not considered a rookie or a veteran. They were considered a star player.
So it's kind of like an early implementation of spiraling expenses.
Okay.
And a lot of people didn't like that. So they came up with an idea, and Jervis is all about it because he wants to keep the big teams from destroying other teams. So this is kind of a way to do that. And this is also before they had a lot of inducement stuff that could offset things. So now you could run 3 different types of leagues. Monty Hall, Haul, which is no fees. And they actually named it after, let's see what it says. As an aside, the term comes from the name of a 50s chat show host notorious for giving away big prizes, and was coined in the 70s for D&D dungeons stuffed with huge hordes of gold and magic items. So like Monty Hall from Let's Make a Deal.
It was called the Monty Hall of like we can get as unlimited treasures as we want, meaning sky's the limit on your team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I didn't realize that Let's Make a Deal was in the 50s, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of... The older I get and find out certain things, like, it didn't seem that long ago when you were in the 80s.
Yeah.
And now it seems long ago when you're in the 2020s, almost.
Well, 30 years before 89 was 1959. That was really weird. But 30 years from today was 1989. And you're like, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they have the laissez-faire leagues where they don't use... excuse me.
They do.
Yeah, but at reduced level.
But it's way reduced, yeah.
And then the balanced, which is, his way of saying, this is what you should do because it's balanced.
What's funny is can you imagine in our league, we don't have anybody up here yet. I think we had like 2 players in the whole league back in the day that had over 100 star player points.
Yeah.
I think it was Anthony Baumeyer's, one of his skinks or something like that. But can you imagine playing like, if I had to play with my pro elf team, I had 2 players over 51. I would have had to pay in the balanced, because it'd be 25 gold pieces, 25,000 gold pieces each.
Yeah.
Just to play those characters, I'd have had to have 50,000 gold pieces.
Every game.
In the Laissez-Faire League, I'd have had to play 30. I would have a lot of journeymen on my team to keep those star players. But I guess that would balance out like...
And again, this is the whole thing of they've been making attempts since this time and probably before then to try to keep the high value teams from destroying the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
And inducements are nice, but it doesn't keep the other teams from just staying where they're at. And this was an attempt to try to settle that. And now we have redrafting, which is just annoying.
Well, it's a lot of paperwork, that's for sure.
I mean, it's good. It's just, it's annoying. They also go ahead and clarify when skills are declared, pretty much the same as they are now.
Yeah, it feels weird even looking at this because it's like, that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there's probably rules lawyers back
then.
then.
Oh, yeah. It did state that you have to declare right stuff, which I don't see why you'd have to. But they do have horns in here stating that you do have to make 1 square of movement before you can use horns. So this is where that came from.
Yeah, that was an old thing.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started showing you guys Blood Bowl, I remember your Canoe Gap Giants or whatever, your Chaos team, you happened to kind of like, well, I'm going to break away so I can try to get the +1 when I tackle your guy.
But I would do it.
Right.
Or at least I would attempt to.
I still think that's a great rule.
I do too.
I mean, like fluff-wise, it makes sense because you're using your horns to gain momentum. You need to run to gain momentum with your horns.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So.
Yeah.
It's not like I've been going like ever since they changed the horns rules, I could really tell a difference, which I can't. So
I guess it's just to help out chaos. I don't really know. There's probably a reason they changed it, but we don't know.
Sure.
Let's see.
There's a ton of corrections, though, he has in here. The 4th edition corrections. I'm not going to read over them. I'm just saying.
Right.
It almost tells me that he threw a bunch of stuff in and didn't really think about it. Or maybe didn't play test it. Is that possible?
There's a big difference between playtesting people who know the game
versus
and know what you want versus rules lawyers or people who, aren't clear because of how it was written or something.
Yeah, quite a bit of stuff here. And they talk about, the demon teams, the Bretonian teams and stuff like that. So I guess I should really just accept Khorne and Bretonian teams.
They've been around for a long time.
Even though I don't think they're needed. So
there's more discussion on traits and skills. It's just a weird concept to have the differences.
Yeah. I also talk about secret weapon tables, which is kind of neat because you could have an Amazon team use a chainsaw guy.
Yeah, they can be used.
Yeah, I could give a poison dagger to an Amazon, and it costs 10K.
Yeah. This is also where they took off the Death Roller and the Ball and Chain from the secret weapon list and put it onto the actual rosters themselves. Because before then, you could add those to any team, too. Well, not, I guess, any team, but specific teams.
So here it's listed the chainsaw for 60K for Amazon, Dark Elf, Goblin, Dwarf, Human, Orc, Chaos, Dwarf, Undead, Norse, Skaven. I would love to have a chainsaw Dark Elf guy.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
It would be crazy.
I mean, it'd be fun from a fluff standpoint. I don't know if it'd be great from a realistic standpoint.
Yeah, but for that cost.
And the poison dagger, Amazons, Dark Elf, Human, Chaos, Lizardmen, and Skaven. It's pretty cool. Pogo stick, just the goblins.
Nobody else wants that.
Did you see, what is stink?
Stink?
Yep. Oh, 2 different types of bombs.
Yeah, that's right.
Explosive and a stink bomb.
Yeah, I think that caused like Bonehead or something. I think we went over it last time, but it's been a while.
That's pretty cool. Snotling and goblins can have stink bombs. Very neat.
This was actually back when Snotlings were their own team as well.
There's a couple pages of the 4th edition Q&A because he's probably had a ton of questions after this.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time they mentioned that this is the gold edition as opposed to the 4th edition, because some people call it the gold edition rules.
Okay.
The gold edition is what they put up on the website for free. Because this is back when GW was like, hey, we want people to play this game, so we will take all the rules and put them on the website for free so that you can get in and start playing.
I miss the Blood Bowl forums on the GW's page.
Yeah,
Back
exactly.
when I started.
Oh, yeah, the on the traits table, always hungry is the country, always hungry. So that was the mistake that the guy made.
Oh, good for you, Steve.
Well, it's kind of, obvious. Then they had a ad for Death Zone, and this is actually just the rule book instead of the whole game, because you could actually buy just the rule book of Death Zone.
So do you have this copy of Death Zone, which is just the rule book?
I think it's just the rule book. Like, I don't think there's any changes to it, to my understanding.
Okay. So it's the same thing you already have.
Yeah.
It's just not in a box.
It was in the Death Zone box, right.
Okay.
If there is a difference to it, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it was just them. Because at this point, Blood Bowl was a mail order only game.
Okay.
It wasn't in the stores. So it didn't make sense for them to relaunch the whole thing at the high price, but they figured they could at least do the rules. And so, again, GW being smart, like, hey, if you want the rules, we will let you buy them. And then it cost £10 back in the day.
Which is what, $20?
Yeah, probably at the time. It's like 15, 20, something like that.
So then on page 10, introduces 4th edition special play cards.
Right. And in the Death Zone before, you had special play cards. I guess there was a lot of problems with them. Some weren't balanced. Some were just wrong. So Jarvis wanted to go out of his way to make a way for you to play with special cards without having the box. So we've got different tables in here of, we got Dirty Trick, random events, magic spells, and pre-match preparations.
Man, these look like maybe something we should look through.
Yeah.
And see if they work today.
A lot of them are the same ones that were used in the game.
Okay.
Like in the previous edition. And they're each on a
dirty random special
D6
spells
D6 roll.
And pre-match preparation special plays.
What do you call a D6 D6 roll?
D66 roll, I
Yeah.
guess. That's what I would call it.
Seems like there should be another name for it, but I guess not.
There might be. We've always called it a D66.
2D6 roll? Or a D66?
Just D66.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how we always did it. I don't know if that's right, but that's what we always called it.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
It's funny because when he's talking about the special play cards, he says that they were left off the Italian version because the Italian GW people never used them, so they didn't bother. And it's like the head of the Italian GW and the head of the game development in Italian GW both refused to use the cards, so they didn't use them. They just didn't put them in the box.
That's so weird. They're like, well, why waste our paper?
Pretty much.
Gonna do this. Dude, I love this. Look at this. The magic spells special play table.
Yeah.
1314 is Scutt's Deluge of Despair. I think that was really an ode to me.
Okay.
I know they spell it SCUTT, but that's really close to Scott.
Okay.
Use at the start of the opponent's turn. The opposing players have their own movement halved, rounding down for the rest of the turn. That sounds good.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of these are just named after people they know.
I think it was named
Magic
after...
Hand of Jark Longarm.
No, I think these were named after me.
I don't think you're a Jark Longarm.
You're a jark.
This is not up for debate. The Grasping Tentacles of Altenson.
Did you just pick one of these tables? Is this how this worked? Or did you...
You had to roll a d6 to see if you even get one.
Oh, okay.
And get how many you get, I guess. And then you rolled.
Oh, you picked the table you wanted, though? Is that how that worked? That's what I was asking.
Each coach rolls a d6 to decide if they can use a special play. If the coach rolls a 6, he can use a special play that match, and on a roll of 1 through 5, he may not. So it's just kind of a random thing that before each game, you both roll, and if you get a 6, you can get one of the cards. Then you pick which one, and pick which
but you
table.
have the tables. That's what I'm saying. Do you pick a table you want?
Yeah, you pick
There are
the
4
table and
different
you go.
special plays table, and you can choose which one to roll on. You can divide the number of rolls you have as you wish between the different tables. So how do you get more than one?
In a league, it is possible for a coach to receive bonus special plays. Look up the difference between the two teams' team rating on the handicap table on page 19 of the Death Zone rulebook.
Okay, I was trying to say there was old rules
Yeah,
for
it's handicaps.
your handicaps. Okay, that
But
makes
see,
so much sense.
Back in the day, you had handicaps, but you didn't have really inducements.
Right.
So that's why they were trying to implement those, having to pay per appearance fees to try to keep the bigger players from destroying you.
They're trying to get people to spend their money too, I guess.
Well, probably that too. There's a little bit of everything.
So then we get to page 18, A League of Their Own by Andy Hall. These are experimental rules for increased team management and revenue of teams with a rating over 300.
This is interesting because it has sponsors, a way to get more winnings, and a special events chart that happens after a game. And this also has the ability where you can, what they call, peak a player, and you just stop them from earning star player points.
They hit their max.
Yeah.
They're done.
Because you don't want them to get, there's no other skills that would be good for them, so you don't want the increased team value. You just put a stop on them and go.
That's pretty cool.
It is interesting.
I guess once you do that, they're done though, huh?
Yeah. You can't uncancel it.
Unpeak them.
Let's see, the sponsorships, there was Bloodweiser, Necromancer's Broadcasting Circle, Orchidus, Association of Broadcasting Conjurers, Bugmans, Mountain Brew, Talismans Are Us, Wreckers Guild, Dungeon Keepers Guild, the Ilthrimar Reproduction Company, and many more.
This is really cool.
And then after the game, you roll 2d6 to see what type of events you get. And there are good ones and there are bad ones.
This is one of those things that, like, if I didn't have a lot of responsibility, I'd want to use, like, every one of these little rules.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older and, like, have too much other crap to worry about, it's like, I just want to play and not worry about all this stuff.
You know what GW really should invest in? An app that you could buy.
That does this for you?
Does all the rolls and everything for you. Or at least tells you what to do. So, like, after a game, this is how you do your tables for X, Y, the sponsorships, the pitches, and all that.
So if they want, I know they don't do death zones anymore or whatever because we go to the magazines. This is very interesting though, like this option of this league with the peeking out people and all this pre or after match stuff. I like this. Can you? Let's pick one. If you rolled a 6 on your after, was it after seasonal? Is it once a season? Once per game. Boozy Night Out, number 6. One of your players has gotten into a tavern brawl and is now injured. Randomly pick a player, then roll on the serious injury table and apply the result. Now, other people would hate this in their league.
Yeah, it's after the game, so.
I could hear Chance and Drew whining that it's really unfair that this chart has just something random in it and there's nothing I did, so that's the reason I lost, is because there was nothing I did. This Boozy Night Out caused one of my players to get hurt. But I think this is cool fluff-wise.
Now, it's only if you roll a 6 on a d6 that you have to roll on one of these.
Okay.
So it's not horribly bad.
Still, it's pretty neat. Golly, maybe we should do this for our league.
C9. The preseason training has been even more rigorous than normal. You may gain an extra reroll.
This little section, folks, which is only a few pages, is really worth reading through.
It allows a different way of doing a league. Instead of just starting
12,
off.
Team Shop. Being the enterprising coach, you have set up a store where eager fans can buy the team's strip and other merchandise. Add D6 times 10K to your treasury. Love that.
Yeah.
This is so fluffy. I'm gonna push for these in our league if we ever have, if our league survives.
Well, it's you, me, and maybe one other person. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure we could make that pass.
I love the sponsor stuff because this is good fluffy stuff.
Yeah, and it's not too game breaking.
No.
except you roll and kill somebody. But yeah,
Here's number 5. I want to read one more because these are really good. Your fans really hate one of your players. Randomly determine one of your players. Whenever you play him, you must minus your fan factor by 1. This is not a permanent decrease and only applies when the player is on the pitch. God, that is awesome.
boo.
Steve, if we were using these and you've made up your own fluff about Auction Jockson,
Yeah,
that everybody hates him because he's so cocky.
He just randomly-
What if he randomly got this? How fitting would that be?
that'd be amazing.
You would love that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
would chuckle on the inside and go, yes.
And yeah, it being a fan factor doesn't really hurt because I think do they mean fame? Because if it's not permanent, then it doesn't affect anything, right?
Well,
They have to mean fame.
I'm not sure because I don't remember the rule set up in 2000.
That's true. Yeah.
But,
For nowadays, I would say fame
right.
because then it would be better.
It might mean fan factor, so when you put them out there, it's not that big of a deal. But, like, if your fans went from, let's say you rolled a 15 and I rolled a 16.
Yeah.
When I put my mean player out there, now it goes down to a 15. Therefore,
But those rolls have already happened pre-game. That's what I'm saying.
it probably was just different back then.
Okay.
I really don't know. I'm sure it had an effect, though. But, see, I love this stuff. This is when Blood Bowl becomes not a tournament game. It becomes a sports role-playing game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And this is the stuff like, this is good.
So the next thing that is in here is the Little Leagues by Carl Brown, who is one of the original Blood Bowl playtesters from '93. And the first one is the human pub teams. This is how they explain it. There are numerous pubs, taverns, inns, and drinking holes scattered across the cities of men. Many of them have their regulars, and it is these diehards that make up the teams. Unfortunately, these same men are not the most athletic species of the human, or specimens of the human race, and then tells you how to make them. So it's a much smaller team. It's just humans. You can only have, I think it was 750k to start, max 14 players, only 2 positionals allowed at all. No wizards or monsters or stars.
This sounds very similar to what Street Ball's become.
All players have niggling
Okay.
to represent them being not so rugged.
Well, in Street Ball, when you break your armor, you take it's a +1 to your injury roll too.
I've never played Street Ball,
Okay.
so I don't really know.
I haven't played it either, but reading from memory of the rules, that's what I think it is.
Oh, okay. This also has a really great Pete Nifton art in here with a whole tavern full of people and a dwarf in the background peeing.
Is this Pete?
It is Pete's art, but he's not represented there. So I asked him who all was there, and he's got Jervis, Jay Blanche, Russ Tamman, Wayne England, but he doesn't remember who the guy in the back is.
Oh, so this is all the locals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the people he probably went to the pub with and drank all the time from GW. You can obviously tell they're people that he knows because their faces just look too good.
Oh, they're really good. Man, I want Pete to just lock him up in a cage and draw for me. It also goes into the Goblin Tribal Leagues. Isn't there a thing on Fumble about? Oh, no, they have the Goblin Stunty Leagues,
League,
but they
yeah.
spell league like different.
Right.
But
This one's sort of similar. 750k, no wizards, monsters. You can have up to 4 secret weapons. This one you can only choose the dirty trick cards. The other one is only the random events. All the bribe the refs are treated as rerolls. Goblin refs, so there are no send-offs or fouls. You have a bad field, so you fail go for it's on a 1, 2, or 3. It's interesting that they say that they're not good with the rules of the ball. So you get a touchdown when you enter the end zone, even if not holding the ball. But only count if at the end of the half with who's in it. So basically, you don't have to have the ball to score. You need someone to be in the end zone at the end of the half. And the players are trying not to get pushed off the field by lurking in the end zones early.
I love this. I know I shouldn't, But if you're going to play with a bunch of dumb goblins, run by dumb goblins with ref dumb goblins, them just being in the end zone would be an accomplishment to them. So I get it. Again, this is more sports role playing than trying to, take the best people in the world and see who's the best Blood Bowl player.
Yeah, it's just fun, dumb fun.
This is good.
Then we've got an article about Tournament, a practical guide by Matthew Brown. So who's that a picture of?
That is Jim Johnson.
Okay, so why underneath that does it say, well, hi there, sports fans. I am Bob Bobson, and welcome to another thrilling match. Tonight's game pits the sparkling talents of the Galadriel Gladiators against the Snottingham Snot Sniffles. That's a snotling team, folks. I think that's self-explanatory, Jim. So I think someone didn't realize that Bob Bifford's name was Bob Bifford, and they put him as Bob Bobson.
So, maybe it's just been changed.
Is Bobson his middle name? Is his stage name?
You're going to have to accept there's so many little iterations of Blood Bowl. And some people like you accept that like our league is just a minor league in the big scheme of the world.
Yeah.
And some people think their league is the main league in the world, of the fantasy world. There's just a bunch of different universes. You're just going to have to accept that.
I'm fine with that.
This is the Jarvis verse or the Nifton verse. However you want to look at it.
This whole article.
And so maybe in this universe, Bob Bobson. Well, the other guy's named Jim Johnson, so maybe this is Bob Bobson.
Okay. So for all your miniature manufacturers who are putting out fake versions of Bob Bifford, just name him Bob Bobson.
Here you go.
Like I said, this article is just about running a league. It's not really anything too exciting.
No, not really at all.
It's a league.
I mean, no. You can get, probably at the time, there's probably people that, weren't on the forums. It was like, I wonder how to run a league. And then they read this and they're like really happy.
Yeah.
And then move on.
But you pretty much know how to do all that. So we'll just skip that.
I like the Nuffle News thing where it talks about their GWHQ league.
Yeah, at the GW headquarters, their own league. And it's by Rob Murphy. I don't know if he's still around.
Maybe.
He does run the league. He states that in autumn of 2000, so we know this was before or after then, the league had 50 coaches. Then the winter one had 40. Autumn had nearly 300 games, winter almost 200.
That's crazy.
He won the league. And he came up with the appearance fees to limit high-end teams for being dominant. I guess they had 3 leagues going on at once. They had a championship league, a spike league, and a Blood Bowl Cup one. And due to the number of games, came up with different ways to figure points. Because I guess this was just a completely open league. You could play whenever you want, however you want.
Okay, so that explains.
So some guy would get, 40 games in versus someone else who gets 10 games in. But to find out the rankings, they took the number of games won, divided by the number played, and multiplied it by 100. And then you get 1 point per goal differential. So if you scored 14 points and they scored 4, you'd get an extra 10 points.
Is this the team rating thing then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you get 1 point for every 5 casualties caused. So it's just a neat little way to switch up how you do it. So this actually could be really good for like a big league. So if you have 40 people in your, like Thunderbolt, isn't it Thunderbolt up in Canada?
Thunderbolt?
I forget. What are they called?
I think it's called Thunderbolt.
Okay.
It?
I forget.
Yeah.
But they talked about having more people. So if you ever have a giant league, this might be one of those ways of actually getting it taken care of. And they at least did it, so it should be good. I would think.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I want everybody to notice that if you have this book and you pull it out, on page 34, they go through their NAF League Championship. And the champions for the first league is, the Red Death Cavaliers and then the Middenheim Manglers.
Mm-hmm.
Then for the Spiky Magazine Trophy, they have the Hinor Hawks. and then the Red Death Cavaliers. And you notice that these names are not like a Norse with no name.
I assume you stopped before you said the repossessed.
Yeah, I just realized, well, there's only one team. So there is a repossessed, which is terrible.
What about Red Death Cavaliers? That's not typically one you would like.
But it could be from a region called Red Death. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect.
That's
I'm not
true.
saying it's
Yeah.
perfect. What I'm saying is it's not a phrase.
Oh, that's for sure. Yeah.
That's the main thing I'm trying to get along here. Is it's not a phrase. It's not you're going to get your comeuppance. Get it? Comeuppance? And they're short guys, so they're halflings. Get it? They're short. You're going to get your comeuppance. That's my team I'm taking to Three Die Brawl.
It's also cool they have the Nuffle News in here, which I guess was their own in-house news magazine.
Yes, I was going to talk about this. This reminds me back when I was kids and we did the Blood Bowl Illustrated, which was just drawing pictures of Blood Bowl and then slapping Blood Bowl Illustrated on it. But still.
Someone has to have all of these. They need to get them scanned.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
And they need to put it in a magazine format, and I would buy it from them.
Would you? Well,
if it was like a Spike magazine, and it was $15, and there was nothing but this, yeah, I would read it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from the guys who play tested it. There's got to be some good fluff in there. There might be some repossessed people, which I wouldn't care so great for, but there's got to be some other good stuff in there.
Yeah. I mean, they at least have the art and everything. It's professionally done.
Well, if you look at one of the newsletters here, too, that shows pictures of them playing, I would love this.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're talking about fantasy role-playing versus just the game. And I know there's a big difference, and I'm fine with both sides of it. So,
always check with Andy, see if he still has it.
Oh, I mean, worst thing he says is no.
Right.
We're getting close to the end of the magazine here. Page 36. What a howler! This is a converted werewolf team.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta be honest, I didn't read this at all. So is this about converting the werewolves?
Yeah, it's just a conversion.
Just talking
article.
about. Okay. Does he talk about the West Side werewolves here?
No, they're the Baskerville Howlers.
Okay. But did they talk about like the West Side werewolves from second edition being a werewolf team anywhere?
No, I don't think so. I think he was just. I mean, obviously he was
scanning over it. I didn't see it either. So
yeah, he was inspired by that, I'm sure.
See, but I like this too because they're encouraging, like, hey, if you really want this team, here's what we used.
Well, it's also the hobby aspect, which is cool.
Right. And I will address that later when we talk about some hodgepodge stuff.
Sure. And then we have the Bedford Files, pages from the sketchbook of Mark Bedford, who designed a lot of the figures from this era,
including the Tree Man.
Yeah.
The one that has like the wooden, like
barrel. I
don't know how to describe them. I would say your traditional
shoulder pads. Those are like barrels.
But what is he considered, Mr. Miniature Guy? Is he the 5th edition Tree Man?
Oh, no, it's
the
fourth. It's 4th edition. Yeah.
Okay.
This is all 4th edition stuff.
Okay. This is like Thruds in here.
Yeah.
The thread models in here, the Lizardman sketches.
Those are so awesome.
I would love this too.
Oh,
I would love to see this in the Spike magazine, like concept sketches. If you wanted to expand it or put some, let's say you are doing a team and you don't want to make up just some silly rule just to fill up pages.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we question, like, why do they even bother with this? You could put something like this in here. As an artist, I found this stuff really interesting.
Yeah, and just to see behind the scenes and everything is awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, that's cool. And then, of course, we have letter pages.
So,
letter pages.
One of the letters is from Paul Deacon, who mentions turning players 90 degrees to show that you've used them.
Is he the Deacon from Three Die Brawl?
I knew I recognized the name, but I couldn't tell you what it was from.
I don't know. We'll ask Chance and Drew later.
And then they've got a guy named Wolfgang who mentions a different way to do fouls. So I like this idea because currently at the time they were using the
I got my eye on you.
Right. So whenever you fouled, the ref looks at you but doesn't look at the opponent, and then blah blah blah.
Which makes it harder to foul because he's watching you.
Yeah.
Or a higher percentage chance you'll get caught.
So this, you had a sliding scale which had think of it in front of you. It has a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
Then on each edge is a minute,
A
whichever
referee
team
token.
it is.
Okay.
Then the referee starts at a 6. So if you foul and you roll, only on a 6 do you get called out. But if you fouled, now it moves closer to your side, so it's at a 5. So if I foul, it's still a 6, I get called out, but you get called out on a 5 or 6. So if you foul again before I do, now it's a 4. If you foul again before I do, now it's a 3. So the more you do it, the easier it is for you to get called out.
Okay. But it doesn't toggle back and forth like I guess it used to.
Right. It will move, like if you're at a 3 and then I foul, it would then go up to 4 because it's moving one step on the scale.
So, for example, the token starts at the 6. I foul you 3 turns in a row.
Right.
It goes to a 5 on my side, a 4 on my side, and a 3 on my side.
Right. And I've not fouled at any point.
So yours is still a 6 because your token's on
6
that
always gets caught. Yeah.
Okay.
But then the moment I foul, it moves yours up one step easier.
And it makes yours one harder.
Oh, no, it's still the same for me because I haven't fouled as many times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm still the more dirty team in this.
So he's still watching you more. But it allows kind of a equality to the fouling.
I gotcha.
So if you do want to foul, go ahead. But eventually you're going to get called out every single time, pretty much.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah, I think I still like the way it is currently on the doubles.
Oh, I think that's pretty good. It just seems like I roll that more than other people. So I hate it.
Yeah, I understand that.
We got this dugout. This is like one page of, what is this?
So the dugout is essentially telling you all
Where-
the rules that are out, what's
and where
new,
to find them.
what's experimental still, and what's unofficial. So you can see where stuff is and if it's official or not, which is very cool because at the time, you've got 4th edition rules, you've got extra time from the Blood Bowl magazine, you've got stuff from the competition books, the compendiums, and then what's JNL? I forget. Oh, the journal.
Mm-hmm.
So Warhammer Journal and all that. So it tells you where to find all these articles, and then if you have them, if they're unofficial or official.
That's neat.
And pretty much any of the articles was unofficial.
And when I was younger, some of my favorite pages in all White Dwarf magazines or anything Blood Bowl related or GW, where you could order stuff. And then I'd fantasize about if I
If
had,
only.
like when I was 14, 15, if only I had $20, I would send it off and get these 25 miniatures. But I don't have $20. And now miniatures are like $40 each from Forge World.
Yeah, so about that, the new releases on this page, they have the Amazon head coach and the Amazon cheerleader B. They are each £2 each.
I know. I look at this and have that fantasy of if I put a check in the envelope and I sent it to them, would they send this back and honor this magazine?
You can get the Dark Elf, the Orc, the Chaos, the Dwarf, and the Human cheerleader, all for $10. Otherwise, they're $2 each.
Not all. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
all the
that is
cheerleaders for
special.
$10. Yeah, 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, £10. Yeah.
And the Bull Centaur, 8 pounds. Crashneck, 8 pounds. Treeman, 10 pounds. The Troll,
Ripper.
8 pounds.
Well, specifically Ripper.
Ripper Bull Rot, yeah.
Head Splitter.
And more, 8 pounds. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
If only.
Yeah, good stuff.
And then a complete list of Blood Bowl stuff.
Oh,
Rules, compendiums, humans, back
yeah.
catalog
it says
humans.
even you can get separate little miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, good stuff, man.
Gregor Meissen.
What?
Well, it says specifically Gregor Meissen.
I know, and that's where the
Oh, yeah.
controversy happened started. Yep.
So cool.
That's when that model got changed. Look, more
then-
pictures on the back of the werewolf team, which you can definitely see are, in some of the models you can tell are really converted orcs.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yep. And then an orc team and a human team. So good stuff.
The Teeth Crushers.
The Teeth Crushers, definitely from their league. And so is the Middenheim Manglers. So
Yeah.
good stuff though.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Like I said, these old magazines are hard to find for the most part. The first 2 issues are not that hard to find, I don't think, because I think these went to stores. They weren't that bad.
I know I have
After
these
this-
issues. After this is when I have some, but not all.
Yeah, after this, they could start
there
going
11?
to mail order. They were 12.
There were 12 of them. Okay.
And I have all 12.
One day I need to just see which ones I need and start looking for them.
They're not easy to find. But yeah,
Oh, I believe that.
and I was able to get mine from Johnny, so that helped.
Yeah, getting them all as a bundle for a great deal on somebody who hates Blood Bowl.
Including a signed copy 1 from Jervis.
Did you get Pete to sign it?
No, I didn't. That's fine.
I know, but we're so stupid. We had the guy that we likes art
I have
in our house.
Action Jackson staring at me right here.
I know.
I've got original art. I don't need signatures.
I know, but it'd be just cool to say you did. To have those 2 guys sign on the same piece would be amazing.
Yeah.
Man, you blew it.
If anyone has a copy of the first edition of Rules from the brown box, I would like one of those.
You should say that in the shout-outs instead of here.
Then, well, I'm just saying it. That I could get signed by like Mark Gascoigne or something. That'd be cool. Get him to get Jervis to sign it.
I want you to re-say that in the shout-outs because somebody might just stop listening to us.
I don't know.
In my brain, we're still like a radio show that they didn't take the time to download, that they just casually flipped over the station.
Right, that's not.
And they were like, oh, I'll listen to these guys until I get tired. But I know that's not the case.
They may skip ahead, which is
But
fine.
In my fantasy world of podcasting, I'd like to think that we're a radio show that some people go, oh, it's 3 o'clock. I better get on there and listen to some both down. Even though that's not happening. If they downloaded us, they're probably just going to listen no matter what we talk about.
Pretty much. I listen to a lot of podcasts and they're like, well, we don't want to go too long. I'm like, I have 8 or 10 hours to kill. Please take as long as you want.
So one thing I miss about my old job, the only thing I miss about my old job is having time to listen to podcasts.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
It's huge. So, all right, we're going to take a little break and we're going to be back with what, Steve?
Three Die Brawl.
Three Die Brawl. All right, we're back. We're going to talk about some Three Die Brawl in Iowa City. I wanted to say Cedar Rapids, but that's wrong. We're going to Cedar Rapids to see Drew, right?
Yes.
And then we're going to drive to Iowa City to see the new Critical Hit games.
At 115 South Lynn Street in Iowa City.
Iowa City.
In the very cool downtown area, which I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, I'm like really like... My brain is like crafted like how this place looks and maybe really how terrible the parking is. Just because I think downtown...
Well, it's in a parking... You can go to a parking garage.
I know, but I think... I'm just thinking downtown and like, oh, God, parking's awful. And I know whatever I create is not going to be anywhere close.
Well, you know, this is that cordoned off area. There's no parking on the streets. It's all pedestrian.
He moved in that area that we like walk around
Yeah.
in when the pizza place was?
Yeah.
Oh, this could be badass then.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't realize that. Are you
Yes.
sure you're right?
I'm 100% correct. And if I'm wrong, we will never bring it up again.
If we drive and we turn a corner and you go, what's
But no, that's
down
why there's
here?
that parking garage, because you have to do that.
Okay, I think you're wrong, and I think I'm wrong. It doesn't matter, Steve. What are you doing? You're trying to prove me right.
No, I'm just curious now.
You're trying to prove me wrong. I don't know. It kind of looks like that area you were talking about.
I don't know. That's cars, so.
Okay, there is some cars. I don't know. Either way,
I don't know.
I'm
what
really
we're talking
excited.
about. I thought it was in that downtown area.
I think it's close. That's why it was sold to me as close, but not the exact same thing.
Because, isn't that the parking garage that we park at all the time?
Well, it might be. Okay, folks,
We're
we
looking at
really
Google
don't
now.
know.
Yeah.
We'll worry about this argument when we come back from Three Die Brawl. Either way, I'm really excited for his store because Chance outgrew that store.
Oh, for sure.
So it's going to be really cool. You think it's going to be cooler because it's like down below ground?
I hope so.
halfway? That'd be cool too.
Not that it was bad before, but
No, but I'm just
I
saying in
like
general,
basement areas. It's very neat.
there's something about them that makes them feel cool,
Mm-hmm.
except when they flood.
Well, yeah,
But you never think about that when you're a kid. I always wanted a basement really bad.
Mhm.
And now as a grown-up, when I hear people say they have basements, they always say, well, it flooded.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's the bad thing with basements.
Yeah, Drew had some water in his the other day.
Oh, man. Can you imagine them around here with all this flooding that we've
Well,
had
that's
lately?
why we don't have basements.
Well, I know. We just can't.
Although there's a house down the road that has a basement.
Yeah, but they're probably on a hill. Right?
No, I mean, like, at the end of the street.
They have a basement?
Mm-hmm. There's 2 of them that have basements.
How'd you know this? Did you go talk to the neighbors?
When I was looking at houses to buy,
Uh-huh.
one was for sale, and they had an unfinished basement. I never got pictures. I never went to go look at it.
You could have a little dungeon down there for cats.
I know. It would have been cool.
Poor cats.
Yep.
Three Die Brawl is on June 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Critter Cup Open Gamma
Whatever. Yeah.
is on June 9th. This is a practice tournament for the World Cup.
Yep.
That's replacing the Braft.
Yeah.
So they are really working hard to get a lot of World Cup practice games in.
Yeah, they've been
via
doing a lot of
tournaments.
those little tournaments. It's nice.
They stole our Critter Bowl idea. No, they didn't. They just needed a name. And
Yeah, I
since they
don't
have
know why they picked it. Oh,
Probably
the Critter from Iowa.
Yeah,
from the
because they
game.
have the critical hit games Critter.
Yeah.
And that's where I think they got it.
I really wish he had a plushie of that. I'd buy it. It's cool looking.
I would assume long term that would be his ideal.
I think he mentioned that was an idea. But it'll
that,
be a while.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much plushies cost if you're a small store though? Versus like making Pikachu plushies? Gotta be really expensive, right?
Probably. I don't know.
Well, you're gonna order one no matter what the cost. So Steve's in for a $150 plushie
Nope. Nope.
so he can retrofit it to have
Nope. Not going there.
parts.
I just wanted to support the store.
Oh, okay.
That was all.
All right. Let's talk about the Three Die Brawl, Steve. What is the build for this tournament?
Each team is awarded 150,000 gold pieces to purchase skills after their creation. The creation is, what was it, 1.1?
1.1.
Yeah, it's 1.1 to start with. I assume that you can buy other stuff with that. I don't know.
You can buy skills.
So it's 1.1 to start, but
Right.
can you...
No, you build your team. After the team is created,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
then you get 1.5 or 1.5,
150 on top.
150 to add to skills.
It's
So
after it's created. So, yeah, that makes sense.
most skills you can have is 7,
Yeah.
basically. But you can freely do what you want, which they changed this last year, too. So
Yeah, they're allowing a lot of the new stuff, the converting Nurglings, Plague Doctor, coaching staff, etc., etc. And then your normal skills of the 150 or 20k, the double skills are 30k, no stat increases, no player may have more than one skill. There's no
And-
skill cap,
yeah, there's no skill cap.
and they're using the CPR version or CRP version of piling on. And it's 4 rounds.
As of right now, this is subject to change because I haven't emailed it in yet.
Right.
I'm planning on playing the same team I played last year, which kind of seems boring, but Tim Lyons also had a quarantine fully painted that was like really cool. So I thought I might borrow that again. And right now I'm going to play the Brimstone Demons, that same team I played last year. And really, I'm going to keep the same build. Bloodthirster with a Mighty Blow, a Bloodletter as my ball carrier, so he has sure hands. 2 Bloodletters with dodge, so they can get in positions. 2 Corn Heralds, 1 with tackle, 1 with block, and then just a Pit Fighter with guard. 2 rerolls, 12 players.
Okay.
Doesn't seem great, but it worked well for, I guess, my playstyle. Last year I went 2-1-1, I think, so I did okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully I will not run into that slan team run by AJ again.
He's coming, so
Oh, Lord.
probably will.
I'm changing my team. What do I need to combat
Dwarves.
Slan that can leap around the field and not roll any ones? So I'm going to break his hands.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, we're going to break his
Just
hands.
take away his dice.
He probably will be playing them. Is he going to World Cup? This would be a good environment to keep playing them.
I don't know. I think so, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
Because I don't really know who's going on the other teams. Should figure that out.
See, I really wonder if this makeup of this tournament's going to get a lot of people going to World Cup, because then they have the second day to practice for the World Cup as well.
Speaking of, I really wanted to take the same roster I did last year, because I came so close to breaking the record of 3 die blocks.
Uh-huh.
And I really should have until I got to that last round. I just couldn't pull anything off. But I figured I should be smart and take the Pro Elves or the Elf Union.
Because you're going to keep practicing with them as
Right.
much as you can, which I think is actually really smart.
Yeah, and I can't do the exact same build that I would do at World Cup because it's not the same amount of points and everything. But the only difference is I'm losing one player because you can have a star player be your 11th player. So I'm taking Jordell, 2 blitzers, both with dodge, a catcher, a lineman with kick, a lineman with leader, and then 5 other linemen. Then 1 reroll.
Ooh.
And then that allows me to have the 1 fan factor to round it out to 1.15.
Okay.
And like I said, it's the only difference between this roster and my day 1 roster of World Cup is 1 extra lineman. Because there I get to start with higher amount.
So
1.2.
do you have 7 skills on that team?
On this team?
Yeah.
No.
So your roster might be wrong, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, you're right.
Because you had to make 1.1.
Yes.
And then you get 150K.
You're 100% right. Dang it.
See, folks, you think we just use these going to tournament things as like filler? This is also a way for us to talk about our teams and realize the mistakes we have made.
Oh, crap.
That's okay. You
So-
can drop that reroll. No,
You
you're
really
gonna have to
would
make
be dropping the reroll, though, wouldn't it?
well, or getting rid of that cat. I don't know. You're gonna have to make some adjustments for sure. It's a very hard tournament. Well,
Am I
it's
just
not as
off
hard
by-
as it's not as hard as Chaos Cup to get star players on.
So I'm really only off by 20, right?
Well, you're gonna have 150 in skills, so that's probably like 7 skills.
Well, that's because that's 50 and that's 40, so that's 90. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it.
Yeah, see, you need to drop
Off by
60.
60.
Yeah.
Which is a reroll and a fan factor.
No, it's just the reroll.
Well, it's
The
60.
fan factor is not a part of your 150. Remember that.
Well, no, what I'm saying is I have to drop 60 total. So,
yeah, I get you. I don't know what you're cutting out or keeping in this.
well, that would mean losing a reroll and a fan factor, and that's a much different team. So, I don't know what I'm taking, I guess. I could just not play with the catcher. Which is probably the way to go.
I would drop the catcher for sure, but then I still don't know where you're going to get that reroll. I don't know how that works for you, buddy.
Oh, yeah, because I need... damn it.
Well, some other things while you're looking at that. Like I said, I'm not 100% sold on the quarantine myself because this is one of those... I guess this tournament's kind of tailored around Gen Con with the rule set of you can kind of, spam a lot of guard if you're dwarves, or
Yeah.
you can spam a lot of block if you're like a lizard man team. Because I hear those guys all the time talking about, well, you come to Oklahoma Bowl, you can only have 3 block on your lizards, and they're terrible.
Yeah, the Lizards seem to be the go-to team for this event.
So currently, I know I talked about it before, but I'm down to I think 8 teams left to play every team twice. Every NAF sanctioned team, not the Apes. Every NAF sanctioned team twice. So I still have lizards left in my group. I also have Amazons, which I was really tempted to play, and corn. So that's why I'm probably still going with corn. That way I don't have to travel with a team, and then I can have the miniatures there and get them marked off. But Lizardman's pretty tempting because every year we go to there, it feels like I play a Lizardman team that dominates me.
Oh, what was it, 3 years ago? There's 2 Lizardman teams in the final. And then the previous year is 2 Lizardman teams in the final.
Right.
So, yeah, they're kind of...
The big fear, and this is ego, we don't play a ton of online Blood Bowls, so we don't get all the practice that a lot of people do.
Well, that's for sure.
But what if I take a Lizardman team and I go 1-3?
Well, yeah, that's the unfortunate side effect of actually playing to win versus just playing to have fun.
I know.
Because then when you do poorly with a good... That was like the year I took Dwarves, and I lost my first round against Chance and his freaking Amazons.
I took Dwarves that same year and did terrible too.
I should never lose to Amazons, but I did.
I tied Goblins, so I understand.
Yeah.
But I'm really tempted to play a Lizard Man team with like, what's his name? Not Silly Billy, the other one. Hemlock.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that's just not optimal.
Hemlock should be so much better than he is.
He's pretty
Like,
badass.
every time I've played him, I've sucked with him.
Oh, okay.
But
when I played with him, it's
play style.
Yeah.
I'm just not good with that. So like my team, I need 60k. I could drop Jordell for Eldril. And everybody loves Eldril. Like all the Europeans are telling me
I
I'm
don't
an
think
idiot.
you should do that. I think
I should not. Because
for your play style, you love him.
And that's, without a doubt, I'm taking Jordell to the World Cup.
Well,
I don't want to even tempt myself with Jordell or Eldril because I don't want to get used to that idea. It's a run and gun, high risk reward type situation. I enjoy that. So it doesn't make sense to do that. And I can't just drop the catcher because it's a 40k difference.
Well, so you're gonna have to drop a catcher and a blitzer, or maybe just a blitzer, right?
I can't do that. I think.
Aren't the blitzers one?
I think I'm just going to drop the reroll and the fan factor.
And just go with one reroll?
Yeah. Because
you're pretty disciplined with your rerolls, though.
I've gotten very used.
You've got better.
Yes.
Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, absolutely. It's not unusual for me to take one reroll to a tournament. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So this doesn't hurt me that much. Now, I kind of wish I could just not take any other skills. Although I could just add on my second day skills.
There you go.
I can't do that because that's...
Well, you can get closer to your World Cup team now.
I can't. I'll just take 2 blocks on a lineman.
Okay.
And then...
Well, actually, you got 3 more skills coming, right?
I know. I don't want the third skill.
Well, just do what you want.
I really wish I could do... Because... Okay, for the next day, I'll just tell you, I'm taking my World Cup build, obviously. But that's... My catcher has block and dodge for day 2. But I can't stack skills with this tournament.
Oh, with day 1 tournament, you cannot stack, right? But day 2, you can.
For the Brawl, you cannot stack tournament. You cannot stack skills.
Right,
period.
but for the Critter Cup,
yeah,
you can.
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I want to emulate my World Cup team for the Brawl, but I can't put block and dodge on my catcher because they don't allow the stacking.
But you can get close.
Yeah. I'll just put block on the catcher and block on the lineman and just play like I don't have dodge. It's fine.
I disagree with that, but you do whatever you want, pal. You want the dodge with the catcher.
Yeah, you're right. I'll do that.
Just for mobility,
yeah,
and without rerolls, you want the dodge probably more than you want. Actually, probably dodge on those linemen would help you too. I say this, and then you're going to run into the one team that has a bunch of tackle, and then you'll hate my guts.
It's the idea of having my 7 armor. So it's just a way to keep myself alive, to having those blocks. It's not even a matter of hitting people. It's just not dying.
Me and you play different.
Yeah.
So that's okay. You do what
the
you
dodge
want.
would be good because then I could be more mobile. And that's something actually, that's a good reason to test out the team. So maybe I'll do that.
Okay.
So yeah,
Jennifer's going with us, and I think she's going to play dwarves, but I think she's just going to be there. She's looking forward to going on this trip more than playing Blood Bowl, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's how it works. Has she played any Blood Bowl since? Heck, I don't even know when the last time she played.
Since Chaos Cup?
Was it Chaos Cup?
I don't think she's played any Blood Bowl since Chaos Cup.
Yeah, she might be a little rusty.
She might be a little rusty.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to really get her to play at least one game before now and then.
I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
That's okay. She doesn't have to do well to have fun.
No.
Except she has to have fun by doing well.
I think being away from everything will be good for her.
Yeah.
She got her new job. I know this is not related to Three Die Brawl, but she got her new job, so congrats to her.
Yep, she's going to be much happier. Instead of being a teacher, now she's a school counselor.
Yeah, so, yeah, at least she won't have 30 of them to deal with every day. She'll just have 60 of them to deal with daily in a different environment.
Mm-hmm. And more closely deal with the ones who are really bad.
Probably. But
yay.
she might not get hit as much.
That's true.
This class that she had this year, she got physically hit a lot.
She is a special needs teacher.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there. She's not like really bad school. It's just
No. She had a couple of wild children this time.
Yeah.
Or however you want to look at it. Not disturbed. That's
Emotionally disturbed.
Yeah, emotionally disturbed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the right thing. Let's talk about day 2.
Okay.
Day 2 is the World Cup big extravaganza to practice.
Right. It's using the same rules as the World Cup.
Same rules. I said
Should I go through the rules?
Yeah, if you want, that would be great, and then I can make my own comments.
Okay, so for the World Cup, you start out with 1.1 million, and you do have to have at least 11 standard players before you have any stars. Then it depends on...
So you have to take 12 at the World Cup.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tiered system, so based on the tier is how much additional cash you get for skills, but that can be used for other stuff than just the skills. So for tier 1, which is Amazons, Bretonians, Chaos Dwarves, Dark Elves, Dwarves, Lizardmen, Norse, Orcs, Sagamen, Undead, Wood Elves, they get 1.16 starting. Tier 2, Chaos Renegades, Elf Union.
So you only... Hold on.
Yep.
If you're creating a team at 1.1, you get 60 Ks of skills to start the tournament.
Essentially.
Okay.
But you can use that for other stuff. It's not... You have to spend a minimum of 1.1 gold. So you could just not take any skills.
And save it for what?
No, you use it on your team, I'm saying. You can make a 1.16 team, but have no skills
I can
and
have
use that for
fan
players.
factor of 8 and
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So tier 2, Chaos Renegades, Elf Union, High Elves, Humans, Khemri, Necro. Tier 3s, Demon of Khorne, Chaos, Nurgle, Marauders, Slann, Underworld, and Vampires. Tier 4s, Goblins, Halflings, and Ogres.
So tier 1, you get an extra...
Tier 1, you're starting with 1.16.
Okay.
Tier 2, 1.2. Tier 3, 1.25. And Tier 4, 1.25. Now that's starting. And then day 2, Tier 1 gets 40k. Tier 2 gets 50k. Tier 3 gets 50k. Tier 4 gets 70k. And then day 3, everybody gets 40k. So your skills change as the days go.
So really quick, do the math.
Yep.
If I'm a tier 1 team
Mm-hmm.
and I'm playing against a halfling team on day 3, what is our team value difference?
90 plus 30. So 120.
120 is the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. 90 plus 130.
Well, yeah, because it's 1.16 starting versus 1.25, which is 90. And day 2 difference is 40 to 70, so that's 30.
Another 30.
So that's 120.
Okay. 120.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if we were playing a league game, that's a lot of inducement money to do something
that's an extra reroll. That's an extra apothecary.
A super cheap star player, a bribe.
Just how it is.
I've said this before,
Yep.
and I don't mean... I get what the World Cup people are trying to do. They want people to try to do a variety of teams, right? Is this what we're going for?
Yeah, they're trying to spread out the teams.
So somebody will be encouraged to bring goblins, even though they might be better with undead, because they get more value with the goblins, right?
Right.
We've said it many times. A coach that's really good with vampires to begin with, who takes vampires to World Cup, is going to have a great advantage over somebody who plays the undead team.
Well, that's
a rookie person. I just don't... I get what they're trying to do. You cannot balance Blood Bowl. You cannot do it. It's an unbalanced game. I will be interested to see after World Cup is over if everybody actually thinks like, you know what, Scott? These rules actually looked really good. It made things more even overall. It didn't feel weird.
It's not about making the teams even. It's about getting more of the lower races and having a more arc to the turnout than just a spike.
Okay. Well, it's working then.
That did play out for the UK Tournament Championship.
It did. Okay.
Yes. Based on the previous years versus using the new rules, it kept the tier 1 teams lower, and there's more tier 2 and tier 3 and tier 4 teams.
So who was still winning that tournament that you talked about? Who
tier
won?
1's a necro team, and then an undead team, and they're
so still tier 1 and tier 2 teams
pretty
won.
much, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I am playing tier 3 because that allows me, yeah. I'm playing tier 2 because Elf Union is just so good, but with that extra money, that allows me to get Jordell.
Okay. All right.
Now, also for this tournament, you can stack skills, but they have to be single skills, and then the second one costs 30K.
They have to be single skills.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even understand that verbiage. What do you mean?
A single skill, like you rolled for a single skill.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then they can't be doubles.
Not rolling doubles when you skill up. I
right,
got
yeah.
you.
The regular skill.
So if I'm a general lineman,
Yeah.
you can give me block.
Yes.
And then you can give me, what's another one? Kick.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost me 30K.
For the second one. Yep.
So a human lineman would be 100 value.
Yep.
With block and kick.
Yeah. So
instead of, so it's punishing you if you start stacking like your war dancers or somebody great.
Yeah. So for instance, like my team that I've taken to the World Cup, got Jordell, 2 blitzers, catcher, and then 8 linemen. So, and then the 1 reroll. My blitzers, day 1 get dodge. A lineman day 1 gets kick. And a lineman day 1 gets leader. Day 2, my catcher gets block and dodge, which are both normal skills for him, and that's 50K.
Okay.
And then day 3, I'm taking block on 2 linemen.
Okay.
And again, it might be dodge if I change to that. So I will test that out probably.
So to emulate this at the Critter Cup, round 1 is day 1.
Yes.
Round 2 is day 2, and so on.
And round 3 is round 3. Yeah.
So there's a big part of me that wants to take vampires because I talked about how like vampires seem really broken, or potentially could be with the right coach. But chaos seems really like you could do a lot with chaos too.
Oh yeah. Any of the tier 3 teams, you're getting so many skills. It's crazy.
Well, that's why I'm probably taking chaos. I'm going to take a tier 3 team no matter what, because like out of the 8 teams left for me to play everything twice, like 3 of them fall into their tier 3 category.
Yeah. Again, tier 3 teams are Demons of Khorne, Chaos, Nurgle's Rotters, Slann, Underworld Denizens, and Vampires.
If AJ is playing, can you imagine how good his team's going to be?
You get 1.25 million. That's 150K in skills, and then 50K the next day. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And yes, Slann at that is crazy. If you're a good Slann player,
if you're a good Slann coach, yeah,
you're just tearing it up.
I hope, AJ, I hope you have safe travels going back Saturday night. It would be nice to see you on Saturday. Too bad you can't stay for Sunday, right?
It'd be nice. No, I mean, we get a test against a good coach at least.
No, I know you want good coaches there. Actually, yeah. I mean, for your guys' sake, I hope there's quite a few people there. I know they were talking like their playtest audience have been about 8 people, 6 to 8 maybe. Yeah. But I wonder how many are staying. I'm really curious this year to see how many stay because it's not the draft, or how many go home because it's not the draft.
Well, I'm just curious how many people travel since it's a World Cup year.
Well,
because that's going to hurt too.
Yeah, because I got a lot of people last year.
Well, I know Nate Bean can't go because he's going to World Cup this year.
Sure.
I think Michael Lewis can't go because he has to
save his.
He's starting a new job, so he can't take the extra time. And Michael Lewis, if we mentioned before him moving to Utah, well,
Brownstone has a new life ahead of him.
He has now moved to
Memphis.
Yep.
I hope he's a lot nicer.
What?
Well, just hope.
How could he be nicer?
Well, he's a racist.
Oh, no, let's not. It's the wrong area for that talk. In Utah, you can talk like that.
That's what I'm saying. I hope he's nicer in Memphis because he's gonna get in trouble.
No, he's a great human being. He's not racist at all.
I know that. That's the joke.
I know. So yeah. So you're going to take what team then?
As of today, I'm taking Chaos.
Okay.
Because I can get a lot of stuff and maybe even slide a star player in there.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Most of the time, like
You
some
can
of
go listen to our World Cup
report and talk about Chaos.
Yeah. Well, we reviewed Chaos. I was trying to call it the World Cup review. I'm like, in retrospect, that's probably a better name, but it's not really a review. It's a preview.
Right. Sure. No, I probably need to. The way I look at the 3-day tournaments is like I looked at what teams I have left to play, and it's like, what team do I not really want to play for 4 games? And like Chaos was like the first one that rang a bell on that team.
I like Chaos. They're fun.
I know, but I didn't have a good experience playing them at Chaos Cup.
Oh, well, it's Chaos Cup though.
No,
that's rough.
Oh yeah, it was a rough weekend. So I don't know. These rules are like intriguing, and then I hate them almost at the same time. So like
because of the tiers.
Yes, I just can't wait for November to hit when everybody's back and people have some like real reviews.
Yeah.
And I might be like the old guy who thinks like, oh, we can't change anything because it's Blood Bowl and it's meant to be unbalanced. I know I shoot that across a lot.
Well, this goes back to my idea that I wish there was a Premier League where it is a series of events that don't change any rules. Every event is the same rules. It's straight from the game. And that's where you get your ranking. Because that would be interesting because you're playing multiple tournaments.
So you're saying like, let's say Chaos Cup, the NAF
every
Championship,
major should have the same rules.
whatever it is. It's 1.1 million and you get a skill package of 5 skills. Boom, done.
And whatever it is. And then there should be lead-up tournaments to that, all using the same rules. And that should be called Premier League events so that then you do your rankings inside of that and you know that you've played people that played the same rule set. And then you could still, since there are tiers, you could say that each team has a different value to it. So when you beat it, your score goes up and down based on the tier. And then you could further implement actual coach rankings. So, for instance, an average player goes up against the world's best goblin team and loses. Mm-hmm. It doesn't hurt as much as going up against an average player with a goblin team because you know that that's a really good coach with that team. Mm-hmm. Then conversely, if you're a goblin team and you lose to a dwarf team, you're like, well, obviously I'm going to lose, so it doesn't hurt you too bad. But if you beat a dwarf team, it looks good. And then if you beat the world's best dwarf coach playing a dwarf team, then it looks really good. Okay. So it's kind of a more dynamic thing. Now, I have no idea how to do that. There's no way to get everybody involved in doing that. So it doesn't matter. But if I had my druthers, that's what I would do.
You're just saying basically that would really, for the people that care about rankings,
it would make rankings mean something.
Because we both know you can choose your tournaments and go holy crap, high elves are really good at this tournament. And then you just play that tailored high elf team. You go 3-0, and then you just avoid playing them for a while until the next best time to play high elves.
You could take any team and randomly get paired up the first round with a brand new coach who doesn't know that team and beat them.
Right.
Then randomly get paired up with someone who lucked out with the goblin team who does horrible, beat them. And then that last match, you win. And
well,
you
for
just
example,
beat two teams that don't really mean anything.
The very first year I played Ogres was at one of the early Spiky Cups. And we had doubles. Double skills counted as single skills.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got more value out of it. I went 2-1, and I could be sitting on that. Oh, I have a above 150, ranking, and it would look skewed really, because I pick and choose the tournament. I played Ogres at Spiky Cup versus Chaos Cup. So that's all we're saying. I get that's what you're saying.
It's a big
I
difference.
guess is what you're saying. Like a premier event, it doesn't matter if you're in South America, England, Germany, America, you can take all those rankings and say everybody played on the same subset. So there you go.
And it makes things a little bit more interesting to me because, we could then do Oklahoma Bowl as a premier level event because you agree to adhere to those standards. And then you have your goofy events. And then if you want to, like something like Nuffleween, we don't want to get away from the fluff aspect, but it doesn't go into that level.
But it's still a ranked event. It's just not.
It's open ranked versus premier ranked.
interesting idea that we just tangented on.
Oh, I've had that. I've laid out ways of doing that for years, and NEF doesn't care.
So you're going to take Pro L's for 2 days.
Elf Union.
Okay. Yeah, Elf Union. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I need to get up with the times, old man. Well.
But yeah, I enjoy the team. I love Jordell. I need to learn not to. I know my problems currently. My problems currently are I'm way too aggressive on trying to keep someone from scoring when I don't have to.
Right.
Because I will see openings like, yeah, all I have to do is hit here, hit there, then jump in with Jordell, get the ball out, and then dodge out.
Right.
When I don't need to. I just need to sit back, let them move forward slowly, and then at the last moment, jump in, knock the ball clear,
Right.
if that. Or just not worry about it, let them score, and then go score because I'm elves.
Sure. Well, then you'll have a good, fun weekend of doing this.
Yeah. 7 games of the same team is going to help me.
Yes, it will. So I'm still not. Sunday, if like there's odd people, I might volunteer to sit up because Jennifer's definitely not playing Sunday.
Right.
But
so yeah, you guys will bow out and go do something else.
Well, not necessarily. I'm there for Blood Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get through these last 8 teams, and this going through the teams the second time has taken a lot slower process just because life has gotten busier.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to knock 2 out in a weekend, especially if I can knock out Chaos.
I would
with
like
this rule set, something in that tier 3.
If aspect. I wasn't going to World Cup, I'd be doing Chaos. I'd be doing Corn and Bretonians because I haven't played those in a tournament, and I'd like to do it just to say I've done it, but I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, you did the 24, either. But you haven't since those became official. Yeah. You haven't done those yet.
Haven't had a chance.
Well, I think it is smart that you're playing a lot of Elf Union. I mean, you should.
I'm needing to.
If you're going to go that far to play Blood Bowl, you might as well give it your best shot.
And really, the only tournament that I've given myself a pass on is Buccaneer Bowl in June.
Right. Well,
because we're going to play pirate themed. We're playing on a pirate ship, and damn it, I'm taking my pirate team that I bought 2 years ago to play.
I don't know why you don't use that pirate team as or Elf Union. That's all you have to do. Just use different models. They're marked, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
If they're clearly marked, you could do that.
I guess I could. So, yeah. You're right.
Because they're really a
Didn't even think of that, yeah.
Golly, Steve.
I'm
glad we had this discussion.
In my mind, they're human. But yeah, they could be anything.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of models.
Well, Elf Union's easy. I mean, the blue guys here are catchers.
Yeah.
These red guys are blitzers.
You're 100% right.
Especially in the fact that, most of your team's going to be blitzers and linemen.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of crazy positions.
And the star is easy enough to figure out.
Well, you should use a Jordell model for that. That's the fun thing with playing with stars is using that unique model. So
good, because I don't like playing human.
Dang it! I want you to play humans. All right, so I'm pretty excited for this trip,
and I think we've been slow to put out podcasts just due to life, but we might try to record something on the way up.
A lot of it's my fault.
Well, yeah,
a lot of it's my fault.
I agree.
Kids sports is like.
Well, it doesn't help that you have twice as many kids, which requires twice as much time.
Twice as many kids, but then with sports, and they're not even in the junior high level. Like if Wakeland's about to go into junior high and she's planning on trying to play volleyball, and if she does that, that's volleyball practice probably almost every day. Now, the difference is...
That should be at school, though, right?
It should be right after school, and then we swing by at 5 o'clock, pick her up, and bring her home.
Yeah.
I don't have to come home, hurry up and slam dinner down, grab some stuff, go across town, wait around, then come back, get showers. It's just...
My nephew has 2 girls that both play softball, and they have tournaments every weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And they're on different teams. So the one parent has to go one place, the other parent has to go the other place. And they did look at that stuff last year, and it cost them like $6,000 to do softball last year, not including food, not including some of the travel and stuff, because they travel everywhere. And it just pisses me off because it's freaking softball.
Steve hates softball.
Everybody knows I hate softball. I went on a rant on it in World Cup Report. I've went on rants on it in here. Just play baseball so there's something to go to.
So, tangent, not talking about Blood Bowl.
Okay.
I got do you watch the WNBA, Steve?
No, why would I?
Okay. I know you don't really watch the NBA either, but you definitely don't watch the WNBA, right?
No.
We had this discussion this weekend in Texas. Gary said he believes it's different because then if male baseball and female baseball were an option, almost nobody would watch female baseball.
No, I don't want female baseball. Women can play men's baseball.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, well, okay.
That's my argument.
Okay.
Especially pitchers, because they made such a big deal out of, the softball pitchers. Just women pitchers would be so easy. You don't have to bat in the American League. No one expects you to bat well in the National League, so it's not like you have to be super strong. There's a French woman who got in the international draft who plays shortstop, and she hits fine. It's
okay. So you're actually pro. Let's just mix this stuff. Make
100%.
it
Yeah,
okay.
There's no reason they shouldn't be.
Okay. Well, Gary's thought is like
no, you could do a female
he's tired
league,
of the
maybe.
argument about how like people are sexist because they won't go support WNBA, and his idea is like most women I know that love NBA basketball don't watch WNBA basketball because they just don't like the brand of basketball.
It's unfortunately a lesser product because it's a different. It's the same rules, but they're just not on the same level as the men.
That's what he was saying, and that's why he thinks softball has never been changed because of if there was two separate leagues, people would always default to watching the men.
Sure,
but you're saying totally different than what I thought.
Yeah,
you mean let's mix this stuff up?
No, that's the thing. If they played baseball, they could get drafted into a professional team. Okay. And if they're good enough, they can make real money playing real baseball.
Okay.
Especially as a pitcher, a left-handed pitcher. And supposedly, and I don't have anything to back this up, but I've heard before that women heal faster and their ligaments don't get worn out as fast. So with that being the case, you could have a woman pitcher who pitches, every 4 days versus every 5 days. And you could actually do better. Or you could put them out of the bullpen to do more innings versus the other. I don't know. But with having softball being so prevalent, that never gets explored because they don't play baseball.
Right. Okay. That's a great point then. You're different angle than I thought. Yeah. I forgot about that. So
no.
All right, folks.
Honestly, if they had professional women's baseball leagues, we've got this AAA, there's AA, there's A baseball, and there's also independent baseball. You couldn't tell me if they had women's baseball that had a league of their own outfits or something that people wouldn't watch.
I agree.
It depends on how well they do, though. I mean, if it's, again, an NBA team can score 120 points, a WNB team can maybe score 80 points.
Right.
I'm not well versed, so I might be wrong. So that's a different type of game. Now, if you had a female baseball game where they don't score any runs and it just ends up being a 0-0 drudge, then you don't get as many people watching.
Sure. Okay. I guess we're done with that tangent on softball versus baseball with Steve.
Nothing to do with Blood Bowl.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the Iowa trip to see friends, hang out, see the new store.
Yeah.
Just get away. Nice little road trip will be real fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So look forward to seeing people out there. I wonder how many's coming because of the World Cup thing now. You have me really thinking about that.
Hopefully more. We don't know, though. Nice.
Oh, well. Doesn't matter. We're going. And even if there's only 8 people there, we'll have a blast. So wouldn't that be weird? It'd be like me, you, Chance, Drew, Tim Lyons, Jennifer. There's
AJ.
6.
AJ.
AJ, who's going to be
and one of the local guys. So that's at least 8.
Yeah, Nick.
Okay.
Yeah, that's 8. So, boom.
Might be it.
All right, let's take a little break. What are we coming back with, Steve?
Just a roundup of new stuff, I guess. News and rumors and...
Yeah, we're not going to talk about softball. Okay.
No, definitely not.
That's out of the way. All right. We'll talk about some more NBA. WNBA, though. Right, Steve?
Sure.
No, we're not. All right, bye.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to be discussing just kind of a roundup of miscellaneous things.
Let's get this one out of the way, Steve. In 2020, all the Blood Bowl rules are going to change. They said so in a cyanide slideshow. Everything's going to end. Don't buy any product. Don't buy the new dice because we're going to have new dice in 2020, right?
Something along those lines. There was a press release released by Cyanide because I guess Big Ben is now the company that's taking over Blood Bowl. So Blood Bowl 2.
So Blood Bowl 3 is going to be made by Big Ben, not Cyanide?
There was a mention of this whole new company, Big Ben. Don't know who they are. Never seen any of their stuff.
Okay.
They put out a slideshow, and one of the things they talked about showed a frame that said Blood Bowl 3. So they got everybody wondering. And Cyanide, someone found their press release saying that I guess the Big Ben is doing a version of Blood Bowl to correspond with the new box set and rules coming out in 2020. So everybody in the world jumped on that as, oh my God, did you see that they're coming out with new rules and a new box set in 2020? Because this is Blood Bowl 3. So that's what they're calling it. And I sent a message to Andy Hoare, who did not reply, which I didn't figure he would because obviously legal reasons.
He didn't like you.
Well,
come on, he doesn't like you.
He's head of specialist games. He can't reply to stuff.
I know.
I figured it'd work. When Big Ben released the video, I think I messaged them directly on Twitter and asked if there's a way to get some media responses. And I was talking about Camille from Cyanide, and then they're like, oh no, well, we're handling that now. So I actually got to talk to the media guy, and so he put me on the media contact list, but then he never replied after that. And so then we
so he gave you the, let's just put a pin in that for now, Steve.
Well, it was then that the press release was removed, the video was changed to remove the Blood Bowl 3, and it just got wiped. But everybody's freaking out about what this means.
What do you think it means?
My opinion is that Cyanide's a French company. They worded things improperly. So I think Blood Bowl 3 is just going to be putting it on par with the new rules that are Blood Bowl 16. And I'm hoping that means that they're putting out a new box for Blood Bowl 16 in 2020 that maybe is like we've always talked about, new pitch, 2 new races.
Right. That's my theory. Is it's been 4 years since we've had a box set.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get 2 new teams. High Elves and Lizardmen. Or
Amazons and Lizardmen. Because we haven't had either yet.
In a jungle pitch that's just a little bit different, so we all buy it.
Yeah.
And it has updated rules, which just means any little error that they had in the old stuff.
Yeah.
Hell, maybe they wipe out the piling on option in general. And
right.
they just go, well, we're going to solve this problem by just eliminating it. And
there's a lot of things from those rules that have not been implemented in Blood Bowl 2.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that that's what they meant, is it's just going to be bringing up to date on those rules.
And you got to watch the verbiage, the new rules, because that set has a new set of rules because they published it. So it has different artwork. And like I said, maybe changes a few little things in there. Not much, just errors. And it is the newer printed rule set, if that makes sense.
Right.
So that's all that means. I don't believe they're changing the dice. I don't believe they're changing any of the core mechanics.
I can't imagine they would. It's been doing too well, although I will say that someone on Twitter sent out a photo showing that all the Blood Bowl stuff has been removed from Games Workshop. What was it? From Warhammer World, and moved to the Forge World part of it. So it's no longer in the main shop, as my understanding is.
I wonder how it really is selling. Like, it might be okay, but okay to them is not good enough.
Right.
It's like a
back
Marvel
in the
Comics
80s,
where you go, oh, they're canceling this title. Well, it has 40,000 copies it sells. Well, that's not good enough for Marvel. Yeah, but Savage Dragon only sells 12,000 copies, and it's a premier Image title. Well, it's not good enough for Marvel.
Exactly.
So, yes, I do wonder about sales. I think these Spike magazines now are coming out every 4 months instead of every 3. Is that the rumor?
No,
or the thought?
That's a different thing to discuss, and we can bring that up in a second. So is there anything more to talk about Blood Bowl 3?
I just don't.
I don't think there's anything we really
more
can
than
discuss.
anything, it's Blood Bowl 3 with the current rule set.
That'd be my guess, too.
And I wouldn't panic or worry. And listen, folks, somebody told me, like, well, they change Warhammer rules all the time, or they have 2.0 rules, or this or that. The community for 20 years, when they decided they like something, they just say, we're playing 5th edition Blood Bowl. We're playing LRB 6. That's the rule set we're using. If you don't like the rules, we have plenty of PDFs to fall back on and play one of the old sets.
Yeah.
It's not going to change your local group. It shouldn't, at least.
It could change some things, but yes. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Let's put it this way. I'm not worried about it. And more than anything, I'm really hopeful and hoping that there's a new box set that's not humans and
that would
orcs.
Oh, absolutely. I really think Amazons and Lizardmen would be my guess. Because Amazons need to come out because, need a good female representation in the game.
Well, you could do... I mean, this would be a great time if you wanted to introduce something new, something that the community already uses, Bretonians and Khorne.
That would be interesting. But they've said before they're not going to do any of those teams until they get the other ones done.
I know they've said that, but in a new box set, it would sell gangbusters. Every person out there would buy 2 copies to get a full team of each.
Yeah, I for sure would. I mean, not like I wouldn't buy anything else.
Agree, but even if they did, like you said, Amazons and Lizardmen or any of the other teams that's left over, they would still do well.
Yeah, the teams they haven't done yet. We know Wood Elves is next. They have not done Amazon, Chaos Dwarf, High Elf, Khemri, Lizards, Necro, Norse, and Vampires. So of those, Amazon and Norse makes sense. Amazon and Lizardmen makes sense. I could possibly see Chaos Dwarf and High Elf making sense. Necro could work since they said Necro is going to be its own release, but I don't know if it really needs its own release.
Khemri would be interesting.
Yeah, Khemri would be awesome. And then pretty much Khemri and Chaos Dwarves.
Well, you got to look at this list and say, like, what are considered, like, good versus evil in that setting. And I guess you got Norse could be argued, but then High Elves for sure and Amazons, right? Nothing else is really 100% we're good guys.
Right. So that's why I'm thinking Amazon is the logical choice there.
Be cool. I'm really hoping for a box set. I really wish this was their game plan, like every other year, release updated kind of rules, and then 2 races like that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
All right, no, I'm not worried about it at all.
So as to the release schedule, we've been told many times that they're trying to release things every quarter, and that has not been the case recently. They've not stated any reason why, but we also know that prior to this release, the last one, like the dice got held up a long time for those, what was it, the Underworld and Capact dice. I'm thinking, and then it's been, it'll be June by the time the halflings come around.
Yeah, first week of June.
We haven't had anything this year. When's the last time we had a release?
Did we not have a team release early this year? The Nurgle? No. What was the last one?
Was it not Nurgle?
Was it Nurgle? What's the last team? Sheesh. Dark Elves, right? No.
So we haven't had a release in a while. Put it that way.
We haven't had a release in a while. The last one was Undead.
Okay.
But yeah, it has been a while.
I'm thinking this has to just come down to production issues with China and tariffs and stuff. I mean, it doesn't make sense for them.
It's possible sales have kind of gone down some.
That's also possible.
Because you know how almost every new game is, where people get in it, they buy everything, and then they start trickling out of it when...
Yeah.
Let's face it, I've seen it all the time in Magic. People buy a lot of stuff at first, and as they play more and more and more, they start to play the game for when they don't win, even though it's their play style.
Mm-hmm.
And then they trickle out, and eventually they're like, I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh now.
Oh, yeah.
And they do the same thing. That has to happen with Blood Bowl, just like it does with War Machine, Warhammer, 40K, all these things.
Everything has cycles. When it's hot and fresh and new, people pick it up and look at it.
I mean, Keyforge at our shop, we couldn't keep it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And now people don't care that much at all.
No.
And it's because, one, the new product hasn't came back out. So they might be killing themselves in that. But it's possible that Blood Bowl gets moved to Forge World stuff, which I'm really going to hate. But at the same time, I want everybody to remember how happy if you would talk to us in like 2010 and said, Blood Bowl's going to come back really strong for 4 years. And you're going to get new dice, and you're going to get new teams, and it's going to breathe life into things. You're going to get custom pitches, Scott. And I'll be like, what do you mean? Well, you're going to get a halfling pitch and a dark elf pitch, and they're going to have special rules for fluff. I'd have been all over it and said, give me those 4 years. I'll take it.
Yeah, very true.
And like your list that you were just talking about, there's not a ton of teams that we don't have rules for.
No.
Now, we don't have the fluffy magazines that say, here's 4 new star players that you've never seen before.
Yeah, well, essentially, like, it's Underworld, Chaos Pact, or Renegades, and then Ogres. I don't think they're going to get their own releases because they're pretty much implied with what we've had.
Right,
we've had
like,
dice for them. We've got the special rules. Ogres, they've been out. You know, there's no reason for them to do a full release on those.
I mean, they could with Ogres, but the other two, I think you're definitely right because, like you said, they came out with dice, and they're more of a, if you like into modeling, go this direction, and
but
you
they're
can
also
do your own thing.
they're never going to do Ogres. There's nothing there. What are they going to do? Put out a box of just runts?
But the runts are really small, and you could put a sprue of 2 ogres in there, 3 ogres. 3 would be fine. You could get 3 ogres and 6 snotlings, and then you'd have to buy 2 boxes. Well, you got to think of sprue. So I guess you'd probably, they would probably do it 2 ogres and 5 snotlings.
Which if they did, that'd be great. But I just don't think the fluff is there.
There might not be.
I don't think the command. I mean, nobody cares about ogres.
You're probably
there
right.
are dedicated people that love halflings. They're idiots. There are dedicated people that love goblins.
Well, there's idiot halfling players. There's sadists. But I like halflings out of the other ones. But
I'll say there's sadists, and then there's ogre players, which there's not like I don't know anybody who loves playing ogres. They're just kind of there.
Okay.
There might be. I just don't know.
Anyways, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just remember, folks, even if this goes away, we've had time. That's fine. I'm happy. And it didn't really get messed up. I mean, it could have came out for 4 years and got really messed up. And then, half the world thinks this is the version we have to use.
Like I said before, there was a big push to make what the rules are in Blitz Bowl the new rules for Blood Bowl.
I know.
So that's what we could have had.
Sure.
It's a fine game. It's a lot of fun, but it's not Blood Bowl.
Right. It's a fine sports board game.
Yeah.
And I still think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and in the Blood Bowl universe, so it makes it awesome.
There's oftentimes I wish I played more Blitz Bowl, just because it's a board game wise. Yeah. It's fun and still gives me just a little bit of Blood Bowl feel. Mm-hmm. But if you want to play Blood Bowl, you just play Blood Bowl.
But yeah, I think that's my main problem with the releases. I just think that they're not coming out due to some legal reasons, not being able to get them on time. The factory's not getting them done or something.
Well, I can help them out with a thing of saying if you would put out some cards without blank cards. I know one guy in Oklahoma that would buy every one of them.
For sure.
So, anyways.
I think they mentioned doing a new... Because, what was it, Warhammer Fest that came out?
Maybe.
Where they released the new stuff and showed stuff off. And they showed the pictures of the new Wood Elves and...
Oh, I haven't... Oh, yes.
Didn't they also show pictures of some type of new cards that were coming?
Yes, there's some type of cards, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. That was also where we saw Deep Root. So we could talk about that.
Okay. I've changed my opinion on this.
Oh, really?
Kind of.
So initially, the opinion is that is horrible. It's a stupid looking figure. It's way too much, and it's in 25 pieces. What are you crazy?
One, I didn't know it was in 25 pieces to begin with.
Yeah.
The model, I don't know if I hate it or I'm okay with it, because a lot of GW stuff is painted awesome,
Yeah.
but almost in a distracting way where it looks cluttered. If
Well,
if that's the right way to describe it. I don't want to act like I'm bagging on these guys that paint amazing.
Well, I think this is something I brought up a while back. Axia left. So Giuseppe, he used to be one of the artists there to do a lot of the painting, and his stuff was amazing. But he left, and now whoever is taking over and painting the pro models, I don't think the paint job on that looked that good. And the last release, there was some paint jobs where I was like, I'm not really digging this.
Well, they're all better than us.
Well, for sure.
I'm saying sometimes GW models have so many things going on that look so realistic, it doesn't look realistic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, because I don't want to say they're awful painted.
No, they're definitely not. It's just they're not painted optimally for being
But
photographed.
they're very busy.
Yeah.
And when I see super busy, it makes me think ugly almost.
Well, it's,
and I don't know if
it's
that's
kind
the
of
right
like
way
the
to
colors are too close together, where Axia had that good ability of making disparate colors so stuff pops out.
That might be it.
You know, like there's a squirrel on the halflings or on the tree man, and if you paint it the same color, like natural earth tones and stuff, doesn't pop out as much. But if you make it a bright red or make it just clearly stand out, it looks better.
Sure.
But again, we don't paint, so what do we know?
So we're talking about the tree man.
Yeah.
I saw today
I don't completely hate him.
how somebody was really excited to build this model kit and to do, there's times I think some of us, including myself, deep down kind of forget what GW is.
A gaming company with models.
I think they're more of a model company.
Yeah.
I mean,
Always has been.
behind the scenes, they're more of a model company that can play games with your toys.
They make games, so you buy models. That's what it's always been.
And there was somebody, I think, online today that was excited to put this thing together. And then I saw that it was 1 million pieces. And I thought, holy hell, if that thing was even half price, I wouldn't buy it now.
It's literally 25 pieces.
Because I was thinking about me or my children accidentally dropping it.
Yeah.
And it shatters like a glass jar on concrete because I didn't use the right super epoxy to keep it together or something.
It's also 40 pounds, which is $55.
Well, that's the reason I'm not
Or
going to
60 bucks maybe.
I do like it.
More? I
I
don't
do
know.
like a different tree model just to have one that stands out as this is deep root.
But, and I'm with you on that. However, it's just so big. It is a 40 millimeter base. This game uses 32 millimeter bases. Why? That is ridiculous. And I get it. You want a big, imposing model. And for a star player, okay, maybe. Now, if they had released regular trees to go along with this, maybe I wouldn't care so much.
I think that's the main issue.
But they are
and that
not
was
releasing.
my issue too, is if we had like a regular tree and deep root, I would probably not even care because at that point people can decide what they do.
But here's your halfling team, and you get no trees aside from deep root. Except now they're releasing made to order the tree mans from 4th edition that we were just talking about, and the halfling hot pot, which is like a halfling chef.
Which I really want one, but I don't want to pay whatever price they're asking.
Exactly.
So,
but yeah, the old trees are great. I love the old trees. They're one of my favorite models.
well, thankfully this new model is not on 1 foot.
Yeah.
But that only scares me that the real tree men, if they ever come out with any, which they're probably not for a long time because that's why they're allowing metal ones to be recast.
Right. That's what bugs me is don't bother with the star player. That only plays for one team.
Yeah.
One team.
I agree.
Why would you waste your time and money and modeling time for that?
Well, and
It's ridiculous.
a lot of times you don't get to, in a league setting, you rarely get to play this guy.
Yeah.
And in tournament settings, you have a better chance because it's halflings, because a lot of them try to get a deep root. That's like a strategy.
And most people would take deep root.
I don't know.
But why would you not make it half the size, make it a regular tree, and just put it out there so people can buy 2 of them?
Well, my first thought is why not make it a regular tree, and then Forge World make some extra pieces that you could change a regular tree into deep root,
For sure.
like the upper proportion of the body. But they don't ask me.
Nope.
And really, seeing this guy excited today on Facebook because he gets to put this model together, it's like, you're excited for the modeling side, which is not what I'm in it for.
Nope.
I mean, I appreciate it. And if I was younger, I'd if I had no kids, I'd do a lot more of that stuff.
Yeah.
But my life is just, my time's wasted in a different way than somebody else's. So this model is definitely not made for me.
It's not made for 90% of Blood Bowl fans. That's the problem.
They don't care because they're going to get their 40 pounds from a few, and that's going to be enough.
That's crazy. That's my main issue. It's a star player that plays for one team, and you don't have the regular pieces to go with that team.
Right.
It's just, no.
I guess we're going to save our ideas of the halfling team for when they actually come out next week.
Yeah, we'll discuss the full team.
Okay.
That's not a big deal.
So if the model was cheaper, would you care? Let's say it's 25 pounds.
It's at Forge World, so no.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't keep up with... I will buy stuff that goes to the store. If they made a regular tree and it went to the store, I'd buy it.
Okay.
I might buy 2 in case I ever want... No, I'm not going to buy 2. I'm not going to lie. I would buy 1. I'd keep it sealed because I'm never going to use the new stuff.
Right.
I have the old stuff. I've got a 2nd and a 3rd edition halfling team. I don't need a new one.
Right.
But no, at Forge World, I'm not buying most of that stuff. It's way too expensive. I love the cheerleaders. I haven't broke down and bought those.
Yeah, I think they look nice too.
Because what am I going to do? Spend $150 to get 4 sets of cheerleaders that I'm never going to open?
I agree. They're not made for us, though.
No.
I mean, I don't know who they're made for. They're made for somebody. There's a guy at the store, Nick. He has all the goblin weapons. He's excited to maybe play them one day.
Yeah.
And he's a Warhammer player, though. So buying stuff off Forge World and paying a ridiculous amount of price just doesn't bug him.
I guess not. And if I could just willy-nilly drop $300 and get all the stuff,
why I think
it'd be awesome.
Really, they don't care. Because if you care about the model, you can go to their website and order a model from the modeling company. And they have rules too if you want to play this game.
You're not wrong.
I mean, it's just how it is. And I think maybe keep thinking that they're a board game company, a game company, and they're really not.
They also pissed off some people too because when they're talking about they're re-releasing the hot pot and the tree, they're re-releasing those old Warhammer World referees that came out when the game first started.
Which ones?
The halfling and the goblin referees.
Oh, the ones that they said they're never going to release again? Yeah, I mean...
So a lot of people paid way too much money on eBay for them, and now here you go.
Wow.
Which again, can you fault the company? You can only fault them because they said they'd never be released again, and then they did.
Right.
Well, now, did they literally say that? I don't know. We all assumed.
Right. Honestly, folks, those things have no use, really, and they're way oversized models.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to the other ones, they're pretty oversized.
Yeah, they really are. And, what do you do with the referee now? It's just a sideline piece.
Yeah. I know some people collect. I mean,
sure.
If you want that model, go for it, though.
I think it's
they're a
cool.
model company.
Oh, they also released Willow, who showed her off.
Mm-hmm.
She's, again, running and has the ball on one foot.
I was excited to hear that they made a model because I'm one of the few people in the world that actually takes Willow to tournaments, and everybody makes fun of me because she's not optimal. And I like to play with her. And I thought, well, maybe this is a model I'll buy. And then I saw it, and I was like, I ain't buying that.
Yeah, she's such a weird one.
I know, and most people don't agree with me. I like her.
But she's also only plays for 3 teams, Amazon, Halfling, and Wood Elf. So this is probably them going, well, she works for both. And again, with the tree, If you make a regular tree instead of deep root, it works for halflings and wood elves. We all knew wood elves were coming afterwards because halflings were coming. You then do wood elves because they share a tree.
Right.
Why do you not have a regular tree out? Unless it comes out with the next release, and then that's after everybody bought deep root for way too much money.
I mean, if you ask me, I would have a regular tree. I would offer the old tree, so people want 2 different models for their halfling team. And then I would have a different kit that you can change stuff on one of those trees.
Well, the old trees are metal.
No, I'm talking about the new one.
Yeah.
So it could be deep root.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm with you.
I don't know why Willow is on... Yes, logically, she can get the ball. I get that. She also has 2 agility. Yeah. Most people... Like 99% of people are not.
She has 3 agility.
Does she have 3? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She has 3 agility. She's 4-3, right?
Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 8. Loner, dauntless, sidestep, and thick skull.
So maybe other people use her differently than I would, because I don't have her run the ball.
Yeah. I mean, she's got sidestep, so that makes her better than a halfling, I guess.
So tell me who in the world of Blood Bowl do you know that's used her on a team besides me?
Nobody.
Right.
Literally nobody.
And every time I put her on a roster, people tease me.
I think in our home league, someone took her one time. Yeah, was it Alan that was playing halflings?
I don't know.
But
I've used her lots.
They hated her.
Yeah.
And she's just way too much for what she does.
Right.
She serves no purpose in that team.
I like her because she's more mobile.
Semi-mobile blitzer.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I like her for. I get the deep root theory, but I like somebody that can move more instead of just moving
Fair
2
enough.
or 3. So
I still don't think she's needed as a star player.
That's fine. Anyways, I was hoping that the model would be pretty badass, and it's not for me.
Yeah.
So therefore, I want to buy these things.
They also released the mutated Minotaur that was only available at the Warhammer World event, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Warhammer Fest.
I thought that was kind of cool.
It looked kind of neat. But again, it's 30 pounds.
Oh, I'm not saying that's in my price range. I'm just saying that model looked pretty cool.
Let's see what else was new. There's a new Blood Bowl story by Graham Lynn in Inferno Volume 3, which apparently is a magazine that comes out now.
Okay.
Like
a 40K?
Warhammer Journal number 3.
Okay.
Got to find it somewhere. I guess it's at magazine shops. I don't know. Haven't tracked it down yet.
Okay.
It's probably at Games Workshop, but that's away from us.
I wonder if it's a 2-page story or a 12-page story.
Well, it's a short story, so the same size as the ones because he's done another one for the book.
Okay.
The new NAF coin or the new NAF gift was released, which is a coin that has a bribe on one side and the face of Nate Beam on the other. And according to him, he had no say in it, and they put it on there. And everyone hates it. It's pretty funny.
Do they hate it?
There's been a lot of blowback. Like, why are you doing this? I can't believe it. And Nate, I like Nate. Nate's a great guy. I really don't think he had any say in it. They just wanted to honor him.
Let me tell you something. I don't know Nate super well. We've had some conversations.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me in any of the slightest thing that wants to draw attention to his self on a coin, like he needs that for his ego.
No, definitely
Would
not.
he like to argue maybe rules and thoughts with you? Sure.
Yes.
He has thoughts on that stuff, but I've never got the impression of like this guy has to have a look at me ego thing, because I've been at tournaments with him, and the only time I've really spoken to him is a head nod at the beginning, and if I was like playing back to back with him, he didn't have to be it's not me. No. That's for dang sure. So I can't even imagine he has anything to do with this. The truth is they're probably starting to run out of ideas for this yearly thing. So they're thinking like, well, we can repeat the coin as a bribe token with the next president's face on it too.
That's probably
and that would be funny.
And then you get to history of the year, and you commemorate the president.
Which is fine. I'm just saying, I don't believe in any way, shape, or form this was him.
No. It's just it's a misfire on the gift.
And I would probably say it's safe to say that if anybody believes that the president himself has a ton of power in the NAF,
no,
that's full of crap.
I ran for president one time, and then I saw, you don't really, you're more of a figurehead that answers to stuff.
Right.
You can try to get stuff passed, but there's a committee, and it's a committee of people that tend to not want to change much.
Right. It's like being the president of the United States. You might have all these ideas and you
Sort
go
of.
in there, but you still got to convince a whole bunch of other people to go on with it.
Unless you make up bullshit and sign executive orders.
We're not gonna.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. I got you. I'm just saying, like all these false promises of I'm going to change this tomorrow as soon as I get elected.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
No, not there.
What color were the dice? I know I've seen them, but I cannot remember.
I think they're those bright orange looking things.
Yeah, I was going to say bright red, but I think you're right. You looking them up? So those are red, aren't they? Or are they
It's
orange? Okay.
So either red or orange, one of the two.
You're probably
the
right.
NAF logo's red, so that's
Okay,
definitely not red.
Okay, it's like a reddish orange. Orange.
A burnt orange, maybe.
Burnt orange is like light, Steve.
What?
The University of Texas is burnt orange.
Yeah.
Orange is like the orange for OSU. He doesn't even believe me, folks. This guy's a real jerk. See, it's not burnt orange.
That's burnt orange.
Look up red orange. We're going to Google colors while we listen to our podcast. See, that's more of a red orange right there. Where you're pointing.
Kind of a day glow. Okay, yeah. Okay. Either way.
All right.
We don't know what color it is. It's some weird orange color.
It's red or orange. We don't know. Well, it's not red because that's in the NAF symbol. Are you tired of the NAF dice?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool.
I don't care about them, period.
You don't care?
Never have. Never used them. I thought the white ones were cool because they looked like official NAF dice.
So here's something I thought about last week at work. Does GW still like own the like trademark or copyright or whatever to the old symbols?
It's nebulous, to say the least.
Okay.
Because
I was
for them
thinking,
to own
like-
a copyright, you can't copyright a game mechanic. You can
I'm talking about
copyright the symbols, maybe. But to copyright the symbols, some of them are arrows, so you can't really do that. So you have the skull, the both down, the POW, and the other. Now, you can say that they're copyrighted, but the NAF put out dice, and they didn't sue them. Now, they may say they had explicit agreement. So I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not for sure. But if they don't fight copyright use, then they're giving up the rights to it so people can use them. So I think if the NAF wanted to make them, they could. They're just at risk of pissing off GW, which is where the issue's always been.
Okay.
So could someone else make them?
Well, I guess then if the official governing body of the rules made dice, then they would hinder maybe people buying their own new dice, so
Right.
therefore they wouldn't want them to do that.
Right.
My thought was, wouldn't it be cool if we had the retro dice that still came out through the NAF
For sure.
with different colors and
Yeah.
speckles or anything like that? But yeah, I guess you're right. I guess this is a dream world. See, folks, this is why we need Blood Bowl to go under so the NAF can start making old block dice again.
They wouldn't, though,
I don't think they would either.
because it's all about the agreement with GW.
I think it's time to do something different with those dice. Like there's a symbol for the NAF that's like this ball with spikes,
It's like the World
like
Cup.
a round ball.
Yeah. I think
Not-
it's the World Cup symbol.
Okay, see, I'd love a pair of dice with that.
Yeah. And they should have done that this year for the World Cup or something to commemorate it. But
Okay.
again, we're not on any committees.
Well, or even have a membership year on them. Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe that's just something to make them
Switch it up.
a little different. But it's hard to gripe when it's so cheap to join the NAF and you get a free gift.
It's just free gifts. That's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, the bribe token alone is cool.
Yeah.
And definitely worth $5 for a year membership,
Mm-hmm.
if you're asking me. So I'm not trying to gripe about the value.
We're fine with it. We're just
But
not
we're
excited
also-
by it.
We're
That's the
also
problem.
weird people that every year change tournament dice.
Well, yeah, of course you do.
I know, but there's a lot of tournaments that have not-
Yeah.
they keep the same icon and they just change the year date.
Mm-hmm.
And we find that boring. That's just our personalities.
Yeah.
We're not knocking them. We're just saying that's different.
And then the last thing for the new stuff was a very interesting experience. Death Zone. That game on the computer.
The really crappy one that you hated?
The really crappy one on the computer that I hated. They released some new teams, and then they had this. There was some Warhammer event going on, which is basically like skulls for the Skull Throne, I think. And as part of that event, they were live streaming a lot of different games. Well, they live streamed Death Zone.
Yeah.
And I guess Big Ben is also the company that's taking over that. So Big Ben got the license for GW stuff.
Okay.
And they live streamed it. And I'm like, this is just going to be a train wreck. So I have to tune in. And before I tuned in, I went online to check out Death Zone to see how many people were playing.
Uh-huh.
I found a website that kind of gives like how many people have played. Steam doesn't release their numbers, but it kind of like finds out their numbers. So maybe 1,000 some people have downloaded it or whatever.
Okay.
Most online at a time has been 3 ever, which is not a good thing. And then
This is according to your source.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I go online and I look because they've made some changes since the last time I played. They have seasons now. And it's on season 5. I'm like, okay, cool. And I look and it has 1 game played. I'm like, okay, well, I wonder who played in the previous seasons. Seasons 1 through 4, no games. 0. Nada.
Wow.
So season 5, shout out to Dr. Ido and Jolly Roger, who I don't know if they listen, but they were the ones who played. So there's been 1 total game streamed and or played until the stream that I could tell.
Oh, that's good.
Now this game is very frustrating. You got 5 people on the pitch that you have to control, and they want you to be able to use the keys to control them by 1 through 5, but I can't keep that straight because I don't know where they move around, who's who. So then it just becomes clicking with a mouse to try to grab them and tell them where to go, and it's annoying as hell. But the guy who did the stream, he could get games in. He was able to do it fine. It wasn't horrible. It's still not a game that I care about. He used the magic spells that they have to good effect and all this, and it was fine. It's so weird. And they did reiterate that it is an early access game, but it came out in July of 2018 and it's still early access. So I don't know when it's going to be finished. On the stream, they did state that more teams are coming. They're going to be doing some more changes, not sure what. They're wanting to implement a progression system to get skills, which I don't know, man. And then he decided to go online and play people. Well, this was early in the morning because they're over in France or wherever.
Uh-huh.
And I was just watching the stream in bed, and I'm like, I should get online and see if I can get a game in. So he plays. He streamed 4 games against somebody. 3 games were against the same opponent. And like I said, there's not a whole lot of people online. So I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting. It's the same guy again and again and again. Mm-hmm. But then I was logged in. So I saw he was searching for a match. So I did my searching for a match. Tried to time it up because I knew that he's going to be ahead since the stream's a little behind.
Uh-huh.
We matched up, and it timed out. Because it sat on my screen and on his screen saying looking for a match, and just kept going and going and going. And then we matched, and it said preparing match, and it timed out. So I'm kind of curious if maybe he was playing an in-house person. Like someone in the studio had logged on to make sure that they played each other. Because they, it's going to look bad if you go to play someone and there's nobody online. So I'm pretty sure that that's what happened there. So I thought that was
What did he
interesting.
say during the live stream when it didn't happen?
Just said that there must be some issue going on. And then he decided to play against the computer.
You threw them off by being online.
I think I might have.
Why do they keep wasting their time with this?
I honestly don't know.
Is the long-term plan to have some microtransactions maybe going on?
I don't get it.
Huh.
Like I said, we've given away codes to it. We've told people to play it, and I'll play them online. Nobody's played it. Nobody likes it. I've seen people online, and there's a review section on Steam where they have a forum for the game, and the whole forum is just people bagging on the game, talking about how it's poorly implemented, they can't control stuff, and blah blah blah. I know they're putting a lot of work into it, but I just don't get it.
Well, maybe they're not. Maybe you think they're putting a lot of work into it.
Well, they're reusing a lot of the assets from the regular game, so that a lot of that's cut down. Someone's putting time into it.
Okay.
He did have a Death Zone t-shirt on, so I kind of want to get that just to
Right.
have that. But remember Dungeon Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
They put that out. Never did anything with it.
No, I played it a few times.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that, but I could never find a lot of matches.
Yeah, that's the problem. I have been on multiple times trying to find someone to play. Never happened.
Can you still play regular Blood Bowl online?
Not too often, no.
You cannot find somebody to play?
Oh, no, you can. Yeah, there are plenty of people to play. I just don't get on and do it.
I should just get on there and play for fun to play the computer, since my computer's only good for that. And
Yeah.
Blood Bowl 2.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, the very, very first one.
Oh, I don't know. I think people still play it.
I mean, I could get on and play the computer probably.
You could just get a better computer and
I'm not ready to upgrade yet.
play too.
My computer's not giving me any problems, so I'm just going to be the old man who just keeps going.
At least you have one. That's something.
Yeah. Which is weird to say, but we have friends who don't have computers.
Yeah, we have friends who have a computer and no printer. It's like, why? They're $50. Get a damn printer.
Yeah, and they make tons more money than us. That's weird.
So yeah, that's a rundown of all the new stuff and weird stuff. Did I leave anything out?
I don't think so.
It's just a whole lot of mishmash of not really sure where to put stuff.
No, I agree. It's stuff that I like talking about,
Yeah.
but I just don't know where to go with it.
I don't know. That Death Zone, man.
What if
so
it becomes
weird.
amazing?
No.
Why don't they come out with a better little phone game? I would love to play Blood Bowl in my spare time. That game was...
Wasn't that also called Death Zone? No, that was Crunch.
Was it called Crunch?
Yeah, it's Crunch.
It was just barely okay.
Barely. Yeah.
I got tired of it pretty quick.
I played it a lot.
Oh,
I got
know
to the
you
end levels and then just couldn't do anything. I was trying to get on the leaderboard and never happened.
Oh,
I didn't want to put that much time into it.
people who play phone app games had to suck in a lot of time to be on those leaderboards.
Or they just pay a lot of money.
Oh, well, there's that.
I played a fishing game and I really enjoyed it, but you could tell like there were Russians or Chinese who either were cheating or just somehow scammed him for a ton of money and were just maxed out on everything. It's just like there's no way to catch that.
All right. Well, we wrapped up this segment.
Yep.
I guess we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back with some shout-outs.
Sounds good. Time to end out this episode on another high note.
High note.
Your note.
It's time for shout-outs.
Works for me.
You like that?
Yeah.
Should I do that all the time?
I don't care.
Why?
Shout-outs! I have no dog in this fight.
You like shout-outs better. You like the scream.
It is what it is.
It's been consistent for like nearly 100 episodes.
Well, more than, probably.
Well, do we do shout-outs on every episode?
I think so.
Oh, then
Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe so. We're going to really change up everything. Let's address that rumor right now.
Where are we?
Yeah. Issue
Okay.
100.
Episode?
Episode 100. We're getting some new co-hosts, right?
Sure.
Steve is leaving the podcast. He's going to do World Cup report
It'll be over
all
by
the
then.
time for even the next World Cup.
Leading up to the next 4 years.
I am going to start a podcast about board gaming with a start date that we haven't decided yet, so it's never going to happen.
Right, that seems fair.
It's going to be called Daughters and Dice. So I'm going to play board games with my children, only dice games.
You could just have a podcast that you say is going to come out and say you have a podcast, and then it never comes out.
Right, but I'm going to have a ton of
About
stuff about it that I give away in contests.
And Johnny, I was talking about Zlipcast.
Oh, I'm not talking about them.
No, Zlipcast never comes out anymore.
Well, they've been busy.
Sure.
They have new lives.
Yep.
Extreme is running.
Yeah.
All the time. And Johnny's, man, a big celebrity in Denver.
I heard.
So, good stuff for them, though. Good life stuff, I guess, for them, right? Good
Right.
habits.
Absolutely. No, so for shout-outs, let's see.
We're really not going to talk about what happens in episode 100?
We're not doing anything different in episode 100.
No, we're going to.
Okay, what are we doing?
Well, Steve's going to show off. He's going to reveal the tattoo he got.
Okay.
Because he's going to get a tattoo soon.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about, what did I do different? I'm growing my hair out.
Oh, is that what it is?
Steve's going to go to a shaved head.
Are we going to switch
And I'm
roles?
going out with long hair going forward.
I would happily do that.
Golly, I would not trade that.
I know.
You just need to accept that we look alike and just shave your head. Once you go there, you would love it.
I know this.
I'm in this neighborhood over here, and we have amazing time.
I'm 100% am with you. I would love to do that.
It doesn't matter. You need to accept your fate.
We would totally be twins then.
So Danny, the neighbors, like the people that live behind you,
Okay.
Lacey and Matt or whatever.
Yeah.
Her father, Danny, who babysits the child, we were talking the other day, and he was talking about like, so everything going good for you and Jen and all this stuff, and you know, y'all look like you're pretty happy and all this stuff. I was like, yeah. He's like, so how's your brother doing? And I said, my brother? He's like, yeah, you know, he bought the house on the other side of the street. And I go, well, he's doing really good, but he's not my brother. You mean my ex-roommate? He's like, yeah, isn't he your brother? And I was like, what made you think that? And he's like, but y'all look alike. And I was like, we're not brothers, though. He's like, oh. And I thought, isn't it better that he said that me and you were brothers instead of like a couple?
Well, I got upset that you said we're not brothers.
Huh?
I got upset that we're not brothers.
You're saying I should have just played it along?
We are. Maybe not by birth.
I just, you know, I was always thinking that they probably thought like, oh man, Scott hooked up with this dude. And
oh, no.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like,
no.
If you hooked up with a dude, he wouldn't be me.
No.
And if I hooked up with a dude, it wouldn't be you.
I would hope not.
So I just don't want to hook up with you.
No. You don't need to keep telling me this.
You want to hook up?
You keep telling me this like every week, and I don't ask.
You want to hook
up?
up?
So it sounds like you're protesting a little too much.
So you want to hook up?
See, that's what I'm worried about.
I heard a meteorite's coming, and it's going to land in about the next 30 minutes. You want to just hook up?
I guess at that point, yeah.
Let's do some shout-outs. My brother.
See, first off, we got Michael Yule. He's one of our favorite Canadians. He entered a contest, apparently, from comments on the website.
Yes.
And some other people messaged things. They saw the comment as well. What is this?
So when I put up the website, when I updated the website for the next podcast,
right,
I threw in a thing saying like, hey, if you actually read these things, email in and we might have a contest.
Okay.
So we had some people respond. At least one, if not a couple more, right?
I didn't realize it was an actual contest.
Well,
he's the only one that mentioned it was a contest.
I said it might be a contest. I'm just more curious. I don't know what I wrote. It's on the website.
Okay.
Now people are going to go and look at the last episode and see what I wrote in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this before in the past, and somebody actually caught it in the notes.
Yeah.
So,
it has happened.
So we'll see. Maybe we'll have a drawing for something in the future for those people. But it's locked down now, so don't do it now. It's too late.
I would say the World Cup shirt, but, you know, he had an option to buy one at the tournament.
Right. He didn't want one.
Right.
So
or he did. I don't know.
The next episode, we'll have a contest for that World Cup shirt.
Okay.
Is that a deal?
Sure. It's been a while that we've had it. We eventually need to give it away.
Well, no. We'll do it next month.
Okay.
We'll have a few weeks between now and then to think of some really good contests.
Sure.
Like if you get a Blood Bowl tattoo and you can prove
that's fresh,
that it's fresh, We will put you in the...
The first person to get a both down tattoo.
If you go spend $300 on a tattoo,
you can have a t-shirt.
You can get a t-shirt that costs $30. I like the both down tattoo.
As I say, just give it to you because you were the first one.
But somebody besides me. Wouldn't that be awesome if somebody else was walking around with our logo on their arm?
Yeah, I guess. But then I'd feel obligated to them in some sort of way.
Like what?
I'm like, we're not that interesting to put a tattoo on your body.
Oh, bro. I've been like using that like jokingly to people.
Yeah.
And now it's really starting to become part of like my daily language. And
Well,
then I don't want to be the bro guy.
Well, what's sad is I'm the howdy guy because
Oh, howdy's incredible.
I've always said, howdy, just as a joke, like, oh, howdy, but now people probably hear it enough from me that they probably think that's actually what I say, but I don't really say it, but except I do, but only as a joke. So
when I worked at FedEx and I I've probably told this before on the podcast. When I was in training to go in FedEx, I'd walk into a business, give them a package, and I was like, how's it going? To be nice. And the guy pulled me aside and goes, you're taking too much time. I go, what are you talking about? He's like, you're taking too much time. Watch. So he goes in, he says, howdy. And everybody kind of giggles or laughs.
Yeah.
And they say hi back. They sign the thing. We walk out the door. We go on to the next delivery. He said, the problem with you saying, how's it going? You give them an opportunity
to speak.
Tell their story. And you have to listen or you're going to piss them off. And you can either choose to be the rude guy that walks off because you don't have time and you're fake, or you can be the howdy guy that they might chuckle, but they'll sign your damn thing and move on. And I started using howdy, and it was faster.
Life pro tip from Scott.
Yes. So that's why a lot of times I'll see people and say howdy because it's still friendly, and it'll be,
But you're not opening up a dialogue.
You're opening up.
Acknowledging their existence.
Right. And I started using that as in delivery, and he was right because the first time he wasn't around at some places, even if I knew the person better, I thought, well, I'll give him a how's it going. And then I had to hear this life story like, oh, my mom started, she got my mom's
it's okay, but I guess, well, how are you doing? Well, I'm fine, just trying to get packages done.
I'd like to talk more, but I gotta go.
Well, it's a hot day out, I'm sure.
Yeah, so you learn to say howdy. So don't get mad at the delivery guy if he says howdy. Just sign the sheet and move on. Because it's still friendly and not rude.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm glad you're the howdy guy now.
I'm howdy doody. See, we also got a message from Gary No. He's running the Crossroads Blood Bowl event. They're at 14 people out of 20. It's September 28th and 29th in Elmira, New York.
That's a lot of time to... What I'm saying is you better sign up now because... only 6 people spaces left.
And that's at www.crossroads-gt.com.
Cool. So we have a shout out here for Nathan Ketchline, who still listens to podcasts, but I guess doesn't play Blood Bowl anymore. I still wish he would paint like the last 10 of my guys.
Yeah, he's our buddy from Austin who was an incredible painter.
Incredible painter. Nice guy. Cracks me up. I still remember every time like I really get mad at dice rolls, he says, like he said, you're getting mad at math. Don't get mad at math.
I've invited him to the pinball festival a few times, but he doesn't like to leave Austin.
Okay, that's fine.
It's a nice place. I wouldn't want to leave either.
So Nathan, if you ever change your mind, there's money on the table. I'll pay you a lot of money to finish painting my Chaos Pack team in your style. But anyways, moving on.
He said that he loved the Nifton stuff and says our podcast quality is great in sound and substance.
Wow. He says top notch. That's even better than great.
Mm-hmm. He also mentioned the idea of like adding to the forum a post-game quote from the coach, which would be a nice little fun fluff addition.
On the actual, what he's talking about is the tournament form that you turn in.
Yeah.
So you could say like, I really hate playing Phil Bonarick because he's a jerk.
Well, no, you would put something from the coach of the team.
Oh,
like
so I'm Smigley Snailbites, the coach for the Middenheim Manglers, and I really hate playing this jerk from Chicago.
Everybody from Chicago sucks.
Yeah, go Goblins.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I kind of like that though.
It's a neat little idea. We also had a comment from Lockseed7 on iTunes. He put it in February 22nd, but we haven't checked iTunes in a while.
Ooh, let's see what he says. I've been listening for a few years and it's still very good. I'm sorry. I messed up his whole quote.
It's not very good. It's just good.
All right. Quote. I've been listening for a few years and it's still good every time. Both Down has consistent release dates.
His title was My Favorite Blood Bowl Podcast.
We do have fairly consistent release dates.
For the most part.
We have averaged well more than one episode per month that we've been around, which some podcasts average like 4 episodes a year.
Well, we also don't miss a month, technically.
Yeah, we haven't.
I mean, it might come close to where we're a couple days short here or there, but, whatever.
That's pretty awesome, though. Thank you, Lockseed7.
I wanted to give a shout out to some people who placed some orders with us after Oklahoma Bowl. Obviously, we have a whole lot of swag.
What's swag?
A whole lot of swag left.
That comes from Killiwoggy.
I guess so. Swaggy.
Is swaggy.
Swaggy. It's very swaggy.
That's your style.
I am very swaggy.
So if you wear a T-shirt with an overshirt of Megatron, that's swaggy.
I don't have yeah, I do.
You do have a Megatron shirt.
I haven't seen that one in ages. Do I still have that?
I don't know if you still have it, but that's your style. So that's the Kilowog style. That's swaggy.
Huh, okay.
We just made up a new word. Put it on Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
Free World Cup shirt if you enter this into Urban Dictionary and can prove it so we can search for it. Swaggy.
So anyway, some people who ordered some swag, since we have a lot left from Oklahoma Bowl. Jeff Ortega, Casey Hagan. He also says that he is in Central Oregon looking for new players. So if you're around there, get in touch. I can send it to him. Johan Mata, longtime fan. Albert Machado also getting some stuff.
Awesome. Did they get some signed prints from Pete?
We've got some signed prints. One person bought a pitch. One person bought some dice, etc. Just a whole bunch miscellaneous stuff.
Cool. We
do have the pitches up for sale on the website if you would like to donate and help us out.
Let's see what else we got here. Kevin Kilbling, is that how you pronounce Keebling?
Sure.
Big Fluff aficionado. He said, "Thanks for the continued effort and hard work. Appreciates every episode." So therefore, that means he's really going to like this episode since we, grind through Blood Bowl magazine too.
Mm-hmm. And then I had a message from Jimmy Fantastic on Twitch and YouTube at Jimmy Fantastic. And he says that he's streams doing Blood Bowl art sometimes, and he wanted to make sure that we were okay if he had the podcast on in the background. It's like, I don't see any issue with that, but thank you for asking.
I have an issue with it, but so right now we're tied 1-1.
Why would you have an issue with it?
I really don't have an issue with that.
Okay. I didn't figure you would.
Man, maybe we should tell him which old episodes to play. So the people entice people who are new listeners to actually go back and listen to the old podcasts. I'm just trying to think of a way to work this to get more downloads.
I don't think we need to worry. It's not going to make a big difference.
What if we do an exclusive episode for his Twitch stream?
That would be annoying on our side.
Well, not really me. You edit everything.
Well, you still have to sit down and record. You're going to find time to do that?
We'll just record ourselves playing a game in the background.
Fair enough. We could do that.
No, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever.
No.
I mean, if we get to the point where people I was going to download your podcast, but I already listened to it on Jimmy Fantastic stream, then...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks anyways. You still listened. That's all we care about.
Well, that's true. So shout out to Jimmy Fantastic.
It's just a great name.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a fantastic name.
Yeah.
Or it's very Jimmy.
Jimmy Hat.
Jimmy Hat? What does that mean?
It's a condom. Jimmy Hat.
Why is it called that?
I don't know.
Were they shorter condoms? They only went over the top? Just barely?
Don't honestly know. It's just a name.
Is this a real thing, Steve?
Yeah.
A Jimmy Hat?
Yeah, that's a name.
Did you hear this in a rap song?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're throwing down those hardcore lyrics about Jimmy hats.
I bet they're in the rap lyrics.
Okay. Well, we have a Google machine in front of us, so let's check the Google machine.
Yeah, look at
Jimmy Hat rap lyrics.
For the record, I knew what a Jimmy Hat was before.
There's a Jimmy from Boogie Down Productions. I don't even know what that is.
Boogie Down Productions? You don't know who that is? Come on, bro.
Come on, bro. See, lyrics with Jimmy Hat.
There's going to be a lot of lyrics.
There's a NoFX one. Boogie Down Productions, like I said. Oh, I guess that's... I still don't know who they are. There's an Ice Cube one. So there is.
See?
Warning, when having sexual intercourse with a female like Cheryl, you must use Jimmy Hat condoms.
There's got to be a brand of condoms named Jimmy Hat.
Well, Google,
if
Google
there's
machine.
not, we're going to edit this and we're going to create our own business.
Male condom, also called rubber. Urban Dictionary of a Jimmy Hat. Just a condom, yeah.
Wow, we need to start a business called Jimmy Hats. Don't you think?
And just sell hats.
Yeah, actually, let's take it totally away from the condoms. They're just hats with like the reservoir tip on the top.
Oh, God. That would be amazing.
We're sorry, folks. This is the part of the episode where we still enjoy talking to you, but we want to talk about
there
whatever.
There doesn't appear to be a business called Jimmy Hat.
Okay, well, if you would like to take this idea with us, we'll go ahead and be partners with you.
We will accept, we'll be selling shares into the Jimmy Hat business for, what, $100 a share?
Sure.
And that'll buy you 1% of half of the profits.
Golly, what if we styled this around Jimi Hendrix's like iconography so we could spell it J-I-M-I, Jimmy Hats?
I don't think we need to go that far. I think we're okay. Just have dumb hats called Jimmy Hats. But I like the idea of the reserve top because then you have a specific style that's called the Jimmy Hat. It's just called the Jimmy.
Reservoir tip. The things you think about on the end of the podcast when you don't know when just to shut up and call it done.
Okay, I think we're just going to shut up and call it done.
Are we? All right. Well, we'll see you folks in Iowa. Enjoy this episode if you have. Or I guess you already have either hated it or...
Yeah, it's been a long day.
No, it hasn't. We always say that.
We were supposed to start at 10 a.m. It is now 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's because I didn't get over here till 12.
This is very true.
But I told you we'd start at 10.
Yes, you did.
All right. We'll see you in Iowa, folks. And we hope you enjoyed the episode. And if not, come back next month. Maybe you'll enjoy that one.
We'll see.
You can follow Both Down on Twitter at Both Down. You can follow Scott at Fat Finley, FATFINLEY, and Steve at Kilowog2814. If you want to know if your team name is Both Down approved, send a tweet to @BDapproved. If you'd like to email them, the email address is bothdownpodcast@gmail.com. Or for more information, you can visit them at bothdown.com or at facebook.com/bothdown.
The fuck if I know, everybody.
Okay.
Take that out loud.
I plan to.